Remaining Premiership fixture for the weekend. Rangers against Hearts, as ever, of course. Live with us here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland commentary, coming from Michael Stewart, Richard Foster and Liam McLeod.
Thanks, Richard. Yeah, it's a chilly, blustery afternoon here in Glasgow as Rangers look to make inroads on the leaders and defending champions Celtic, who were held to a goalless draw in the capital against Hibs yesterday. And of course it's been East against West for the last two Premiership weekends. That after Rangers beat Hibs here, and Celtic were also big winners against Hearts at Tynecastle. Two sets of players just about ready to go. The two captains down there, James Tavernier and Lawrence Shankland. The Rangers mascots. The match official in charge today is John Beaton. His video assistant at base is Alan Muir, as I mentioned beforehand, and Richard talked about it there as well. Rangers will remember those lost in conflict this afternoon, remembering Sundays in a fortnight's time. This is the home league game around that time, and always a poignant moment. And of course for Hearts as well, you'll remember the story of McRae's battalion, 11 professional players from Hearts.
We will now have a minute's silence, which will begin and end on the
many giving their lives
we ask those supporters to now
for their country, and a minute's silence will be held ahead of the Rangers Heart of Midlothian fixture here at Ibrox this afternoon. Remembering those lost in conflict, and there will be plenty other opportunity for everyone to do that over the next couple of weeks as well, and it's that time of year again. So the two sets of players will get things underway shortly. Rangers one change from midweek in the Czech Republic in that Europa League draw against Sparta Prague, a well-earned point. It has to be said, Yilmaz in for Suter, so Butland in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Davies and Yilmaz at the back, Lundstrom and Raskin sitting, Cantwell, Lammers and Sima behind Desser. Sima needs one more to get in the double figures. There's goal tally for Hearts. Ofaya, Grant and Beningame in for Devlin, Forrest and Lowry. The latter can't play against his parent club. Clark in goal, back three of Sibic, Kent, Rowles, with Ofaya and Cochrane in the wing-back positions, Beningame, Grant and Nieuwenhof, with Shankland and Vargas up front. Well, Hearts did manage a draw last time they were here, 2-2 at the end of last season in the penultimate day, as they go from left to right in this first half, kicking things off through George Grant, knocks it back to Rowles, long ball forward, headed out for a Hearts throw-in on this near side. The visitors in their maroon shirts, white shorts, white socks. Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. The home team going right to left towards the Broom Lone road end of the stadium. Murky day here in Glasgow, south of the River Clyde, and that's how to play for another Hearts throw-in on this near side. Stephen Naismith, of course, he had a trophy-laden spell as a player here at Rangers before departing in 2012. As Ofaya bowls the throw-in forward to Shankland down on this near side, plays it back off his teammate Ofaya, and it's how to play for a throw-in on this near side to be taken by Ridvan Yilmaz. It was a really good point, Richard Foster, for Rangers in Europe during the week, given the battering they took in the first half in the game. Much better in the second half, and they'll be looking to reduce the arrears at the top of the table down to 5 points today.
Yeah, of course, it's like I said before, I think it's important how they start the game. If they're on the front foot and they play in Hearts half and make it really difficult for Hearts, then you know the crowd will get on their side and they'll appreciate the efforts. I think if they allow Hearts to build their way into the game, despite I agree somewhat with what Michael said in terms of the recruitment at Hearts, but I think they still have good players in the team. You've always got goals with Lauren Shanklin at the top end of the pitch, so Rangers need to kind of quell that or quash that fight from Hearts early doors and get the crowd on their side, because you hear it starts really loud and then Hearts have the ball for a little spell and it goes a little bit quiet, and I think they need to get the Rangers fans on their feet and cheering, because that it makes a huge difference when you're playing here at Ibrox.
Headed away there by Davies on the halfway line. Lammers gets his head onto it, but he can only put it out for a Hearts throw in on the far side. Mikey, just 3 wins in their last 9 for Heart of Midlothian against Aberdeen, Kilmarnock in the League Cup, Ross County and Dingwall. And whether or not it's today they kick on, they do need to kick on at some point and pretty soon.
Well, again, everything that was being spoken about with regards to Aberdeen is very much relevant to Hearts as well. It's a massive job for Stevie Naismith, and a huge week coming up to make sure that there's a feeling that things are moving in the right direction. This game here today, there's not a great deal, I would imagine, that's expected in regards to points being picked up. But even if Rangers are to win this game, Hearts have got to show something. They've got to show that they're capable of being able to land some punches, all with looking towards the semi-final next week.
Yeah.
There's a way to lose a game, and if Hearts are going to lose this today, they need to be shown the right mentality here.
Bit of an Ingame foul there by Raskan, midway inside his own half. Free kick Hearts. A little overzealous from the Belgian on that occasion, and Xander Clark's actually going to come out to take this. Craig Gordon has stepped up his recovery. He was in action for the young team. He was the 40-year-old the other day, and I believe he came out to make a challenge similar to the one that caused the broken leg against Stephen Fletcher almost a year ago. He won the ball, and I guess mentally even that's going to be really important for him. He's going to be back pretty soon. Does he come straight back into the team? It's going to be very interesting to see as Abdallah Sima picks up on the near side for Rangers. Into Raskan, forward to Lammers on the halfway line. He's lost out. Here's a fire now to Nieuwenhof, plays it off Lundstrom, and out for a throw-in on this near side to the visitors as we approach the 4-minute mark. Very much the infancy of this one. Hearts' last win in this fixture was in the Scottish Cup quarter-finals under Daniel Stendhal in February 2020. It was Ollie Bozanic who got the only goal. And they won the previous meeting between the two in what is their last league win over Rangers. Liam Boyce with a very late winner. Stephen Naismith, the current manager, got there first to cancel out a Ryan Kent opener. As Hearts come in field from that throw-in, Beningame stabbing it back the way to Kai Rolls, who will roll it out to the left-hand side for Cochrane. Gets the cross ball into the box. It's useful shot for Shankland, who hits home! What a start for Hearts! And Lawrence Shankland with the header into the top left-hand corner gives the maroon and white half of Edinburgh the dream start here in Glasgow. The Hearts fans up the other end are elated, and it's Rangers 0, Heart of Midlothian 1 at Ibrox.
Well, forget everything I was just talking about in regards to potentially losing the game. Hearts have had an unbelievable start here, and by the way, it's a great goal, a really good goal. You know, they've built it well. Beningame in the middle of the park initially, stepping forward, taking a couple of players out of the game, and then out to Kai Rolls out the other side, and Alex Cochrane with a right-footed cross to the back post, and the height of Yilmaz is exploited ruthlessly. Shankland round the back, and it's a brilliant header from Shankland over Jack Butland into the far corner. A brilliant goal from Hearts, really well worked and expertly finished off by Lawrence Shankland.
To be fair, that it's a fantastic ball in, but it's an unbelievable header. I'm not sure there's many strikers in Scotland that score that. And I know it's good playing and they worked it well and they were patient, but you still need that fantastic header at the end of it for it to be a goal, because to beat Butland from there, from where he is, he loops it over him. Unbelievable header. Yes, Yilmaz could possibly make contact with him and get, because he lacks the height, but having said that, fantastic header from Shankland there.
Yilmaz up the other end, bends his own cross in with the left foot. Nobody in blue attacking it though. Went towards the back post, and Cochrane, who put that cross in for Lawrence Shankland there, will take a throw in over on the far side. That Lawrence Shankland's 7th goal of the season. He went 8 games without before ending that goal drought against Celtic last week. Proved just to be consolation, but that That is more like it. That is more like it from Shankland to give Hearts a very early lead last time they were here. He's done it again.
I mean, look, Liam, you know, strikers are going to go through phases without scoring.
Dreadful ball by Sibic. Here's Yilmaz, left-hand side of the box. Chip ball in, looking for the head of Lammers, just evades him though. And it will go out to that far side for another Hearts throw-in. Since the goal, there's been 2 really slack balls out of defence by Hearts. They do not want to be giving Rangers that kind of encouragement. This time it's Toby Sibic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of Toby Sibic's weaknesses is distribution at times. Lacks concentration, and it wasn't a difficult ball. You're right, the turnover happens deep inside Hearts half, and unfortunately they had plenty of bodies in there and they were able to make sure that the cross didn't come to anything. But you know, just to go back to Lawrence Shankland, I was saying there that he's a goal scorer. You know, inevitably there'll be stages where they go without scoring for a number of games, but the ability of being able to find the back of the net, he has that naturally. And you know what Richard was saying there is absolutely spot on. It's a tremendous finish, and will do his confidence the world of good. Like the goal last week, even though it was a consolation, it was a great goal and it would have done his confidence a great deal of positivity, and steps up there first time and gets Hearts in front.
There's Dessus for Raskin at the edge of the Hearts penalty area, rolls it under pressure out to Tavernier on the right hand side. It's an early ball in, trying to attack it is Seema. Hearts get it half away. Lundstrom collects the scraps and feeds Cantwell wide on the left hand side. Chip ball into the box, cleared by Sibic. Shankland's header back into his own box, done well, back to Cochrane, who wallops it clear with the left foot deep into the Rangers half. Rangers 0 then, Hearts 1. 8 minutes on the clock at Ibrox.
You see there, it's actually good play from Raskin. He gets on the backside of Beningame. He kind of plays the 1-2 with Dessus, and you're probably looking for him just to shoot, but he also elects to go wide to Tavernier, then they flood the box. But for me, if you look at the size of the Hearts backline, I'm not sure crossing the ball in now. It'll come back to bite me possibly, but I'm not sure crossing the ball in is the way forward. I think they need to play down the sides of Hearts.
Well, this is the thing that was a big criticism of Michael Beale's Rangers side, was that lacking penetration, not getting in behind defences quick enough or often enough. Now they're playing against Hearts with Cochrane and Ofaya as wing backs, who, when they're defending, are clearly going to get into a defensive setup. Rangers have got to try get in behind. There's no point in throwing the crosses in, as we've seen from Barisic and Tavernier over the years, from 40 yards out, because the 3 centre halves there will lap it up. They have to try and get in behind the Hearts defence and put balls in from an area where the defenders are facing their own goal.
Tavernier, the ball stayed in place. Seema did really well, because Tavernier put in one of the poorest crosses of his Rangers career. Up into the air, it came off his toe. Seema kept it in, prevented it from going out for the goal kick, and he wins the throw-in on the near side, which is taken in field. Now Lundstrom to Cantwell. Ball up towards the 18-yard line is knocked clear by Hearts. Shankland with another really intelligent cushion header back to Nieuwenhof. And now it is Shankland to Sibic, who looks up at the pitch ahead of him. Long ball, asking too much of Vargas though. And it will go out to play for a Rangers throw-in level with the edge of their own penalty area over on the far side. It's been a problem for Rangers for a while now. They went behind in 28 of their 54 games last season, which is pretty staggering. It's happened now 8 times this season, so it is an issue. It's the first time that Philippe Clement's been behind as Rangers boss, and lots of time to rectify the situation, obviously, but it has been a notorious issue for Rangers under Michael Beale and Giovanni van Bronckhorst going back over the last 16 months or so. As Ofaya throws it forward down this near side. Rangers win it back though, knocked up towards Lammers. It's well blocked there by Frankie Kent, and out to Ofaya on this near side. On the turn away from Raskin, little short ball to Nieuwenhof. Tries to work it back to him, just through his legs, and favours Lundstrom. Goldson picks it up under pressure from Vargas. He goes back to his goalkeeper, Jack Butland. There seems to be a headline every second day about Jack Butland potentially being the subject of a big money offer in the January window when it rolls around. We'll be desperate to hold on to him. He has been a new signing that has worked for sure. Good replacement for Alan McGregor between the sticks for the home team, but they are 1-0 down here to Hearts. They do have a free kick level with the edge of the circle over on the right hand side in the Hearts half, as Lammers rolls it out to the touchline for Tavernier, who goes back to Goldson. So they've got to try and work their way into this Rangers, as It's flicked out to Ruud van Yilmaz on the near side. First they had Ben Davis at left back against Sparta on Thursday evening. 3 changes in the starting 11 from Clement for this one. Shifted out to Tavernier and now back with Goldson. To Davies, takes it up towards halfway, crossing into Hearts territory. The Hearts players standing their ground.
That's
and
terrible.
Davies just runs into Nieuwenhof.
That is terrible. You know, as I've been speaking about, they need to play quickly to get in behind.
Chip ball forward towards Cyril Dessers, left-hand side of Hearts box, gathers the ball, left-footed ball across is really good, can't quite get there though, and Hearts clear. Really good play by Dessers that time, still alive for Rangers. Sima's chip ball, too high for Raskan. Dessers will chase it, keep it in play on the near side. Hearts players seem to stop both occasions. Dessers' cross is way too deep though, and it sails behind for a goal kick right in front of the Hearts fans over there in a sold-out away end. 12 in, Rangers 0, Hearts 1.
A couple of things there. First of all, when Dessers does get in behind, it's exactly what we're talking about, getting in behind the defence. Look where he's putting the ball in from. It's in behind the Hearts defence. They're all having to run, facing their own goals. It changes the dynamic completely. But just before, when Ben Davies is stepping forward, Rangers need to get the ball into the full-backs of the wide boys early. Ben Davies striding forward and taking 10 touches is not what's going to be needed.
Great play by Shanklin again. He's up for this today.
I mean, to be fair, it was fantastic defending the back post from Cochrane there to stop Cantwell getting in. But you see the difference. Davies steps forward. It's too slow. They lose the ball. It then goes quickly back and forward again, and they get in behind. So Michael, you're exactly right. If they move the ball quickly, they can get down the sides and in behind Hearts. If they're too slow, Hearts will get set and they won't get beyond them.
They've only won at Ibrox 3 times since that famous Alan Johnston hat-trick in 1996. Nieuwenhof comes forward, rolls it with the right foot, out to the left for Cochrane, short ball to Grant, back to Cochrane, and he rolls it back into his own half for Rolls.
Yeah, I think one of those times I played. Yeah.
Well, there's a surprise. Yes. You're very self-deprecating, Fozzie, when you talk about these things.
I'm just honest.
Yeah, the last one here was in the Championship. It was in the opening day of the Championship season. That might have been the one we're talking about, is it? Yeah. Here's Vargas down the right-hand side of the Rangers box, under pressure from Goldson to Afaya. Side football short to Shanklin. He turns it back the way to Beningame.
Beningame's already, shown what a miss he's been to Hearts, just knitting the game together really well.
Civic with the chip ball into the box, but Butland will play him in the 6-yard line. Stephen Naismith hopping around there, as he tends to do. Still kicking every ball. He's unhappy that there's no better quality, or nobody actually in the position to get on the end of that cross.
No, I think it's the former there. It's poor play from Civic. He just needs to slide the ball into Shanklin's feet. He mishits it, and it was well worked all the way from the defensive third from Hearts up the park. And as I said, Beningame's been a good start to the game, but his problem is his fitness.
He's been out for a year, hasn't he? They're desperate to get him fully fit. As a fire goes in, and Sima, who's taking a sore one there, and the fire's going to be yellow carded by referee Beaton down below us for that one. He's sitting on the deck shaking his head.
He can shake his head all he wants. It's a ridiculous tackle, and he's done really well there. He's slowed Sima down. He's taken the ball off him. It's a bit of a fight, and Sima's got his body in the way, and he just comes through the back of him. But silly position to give away a free kick under no real pressure. Sima's going nowhere, and now you're not only you booked, but you're facing a free kick into your box.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Just a silly challenge to make. Initially good work to disrupt the pass into Sima, but then the Rangers frontman got his body in front of him, and he can't go lunging in like that. It's a yellow card and a free kick all day long.
Tavernier with the free kick. It's way too close to Xander Clark, who holds on comfortably on his 6-yard line. 15 and a half played with Hearts, leading this game at Ibrox by 1-0. Xander Clark there, who thought he'd scored here actually in that Scottish Cup quarter-final a few seasons ago. Was playing for St Johnstone. He's out of play for a thrown on the far side. I think it was Chris Kane who annoyed him and got the final touch in the end up to eventually take that game to penalties as it ended up. St Johnstone going on to lift the trophy. It's a throw in from Cochrane up the line, breaks back to George Grant via Vargas, back to Vargas and then back to Cochrane, in field to Beningame. He rolls it back to the edge of the centre circle for Sibic. Sibic out to this near side for Afaya. Moves infield, side foot ball to Beningame, and he plays it back into his own half for Kent. Square to Rolls, and then out to the left for Cochrane. Hearts knocking the ball about with real confidence right now.
Well, also, it goes back to what I was just saying before. Well, that certainly wasn't a great deal of confidence from Frankie Kent. But, talking about Beningame in the middle of the park, he's always an offer for the 3 defenders that are on the ball. And with Rangers front players charging about trying to close down the back 3 of Hearts, Beningame's just picking up good pockets of space, and he's able to just beat that initial press. And then they've got the wing backs out in the wide areas that are giving them the extra numbers to keep possession.
The goal that separates the sides, Lawrence Shankland's 35th in 63 Hearts appearances. It's his 180th career goal, so he closes in on 200. And he's chasing it again down the right-hand side. He can't quite whip the cross in though. And it goes behind for a goal kick to Rangers. 17 on the clock. This is the first true test then of Philippe Clement as far as being behind in a game is concerned. They were tested by Sparta Prague during the week, but they managed to hold firm until the break before a much better second half performance that could have seen them pick up all 3 points. And he's behind to that Shankland goal on 4 minutes.
I think they're just trying to be a bit too precise, aren't the Rangers? You see with the pass there, Yilmaz, he's trying to pass it straight into Desser's feet. Well, there's a little bit of space in front of them. Just kind of feed the grass in behind and allow them to try and stretch the Hearts back line. But if you play in front of them all the time, that back 3 of Hearts will deal with that, and they'll be comfortable with it. As a defender, you hate running back towards your own goal, but they haven't done that enough, and you can already hear the crowd have gone a bit flat. Every time there's a mistake, they get upset, and Hearts the game plan is always to keep the crowd quiet early in the game, and they've certainly done that.
There's a perfect example for me where Lammers picks the ball up. He's 30, 40 yards out for a goal. He's playing as the number 10. He just takes a touch, gets a little bit of pressure, gives it away, turnover. It's very early in the game, but you've seen that so often this season that clearly is his position, but I don't think he does enough in that position to warrant being a standalone number 10. Doesn't score, doesn't create enough. And if you're playing number 10 for Rangers, you'd expect a better end product than what Sam Lammers is producing.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the jury's out on him as Cantwell is chopped down right of centre. It's a quick free kick by Lundstrom. Lammers just outside the box, out to Tavernier. It's another poor ball from James Tavernier. He's towed that one up into the air like he did the last one. Picked up comfortably by Afai under no pressure on the near side. Nieuwenhof gets it to Vargas. I'm not sure he was the intended target. Shankland looking for Vargas on the return there, and Goldson puts it behind for a corner. A cheap one. Hearts leading 1-0, and Rangers all at sea, you have to say, at the moment.
It starts again, Lammers there, he gets in a good space that time, and he comes inside, and I'm thinking, go and have a shot. He then comes back out to play Tavernier for the cross. It's a poor one. And then there's absolutely no pressure on Afaya. Afaya brings the ball down. Yes, he probably, call that a good bad one, where he tries to play one pass and reverse it into the striker. But it's just too easy. Within 2 passes, Hearts have got a corner.
Which will be taken by Alex Cochrane, the man who set up the goal that separates the teams. It's going to be an outswinger with the left foot here from Cochrane. Can he conjure up here? Can Hearts double their lead? As the rain tumbles down now, in comes the corner. Davies gets something onto it, up into the air it goes. Rangers head clear. Comes off the head of Grant towards the edge of the box again. Flicked on by Rolls. Couldn't quite find Vargas though. And Rangers clear through Tavernier. And then the header from Raskan up towards halfway. You can hear the home fans are edgy. It's the soundtrack to the closing weeks of the Michael Beale era. And it's the first time under the new manager that he'll have heard it. As Raskan shifts it to Lammers right of the circle.
I'm not totally sure that Abdullah Sima's position is where I would be wanting them to be picking up, almost on the inside channel.
He's in the middle right now, and Yilmaz is coming down the left-hand side looking for a cross, but Nieuwenhof as well. That's a goal kick, surely, yeah.
That's why, look, he's obviously trying to, what they're thinking is create a bit of space for Yilmaz, but Yilmaz is then picking the ball up very deep. It gives time for Hearts to shuffle and get bodies across. He's playing on the inside channel where the right-sided centre-half Sibic and the right wing-back Ofaya, there's loads of bodies there. For me, you've got to try and stretch the game, and that's the width. I don't think that going in there is going to create the space that they think that will open it up for Yilmaz, because he's coming from deeper.
Lundstrom finds Lammers, now Cantwell driving forward, midway inside the Hearts half, here he goes, down he goes, no free kick this time, the Rangers still have it. Tavernier with the cross, comes off the Hearts defender and behind for a Rangers corner, over there in front of the Hearts fans as they attack the goal to the left.
Yeah, I don't think it's a free kick on Cantwell, but at least, to be fair, he's trying to get the ball, he's trying to move forward quickly, he's trying to make something happen. And they've got a 2v1 out wide if they want it this time.
Yeah, Cantwell hanging around out there, Tavernier eyeing up the Hearts box. They've got everyone back of the visitors, and yep, he's moved it back to Cantwell at the right angle of the box, takes a touch, crosses it in. It's a decent one. Seema can't really get a head onto it though, and Hearts are able to spoon it clear up towards halfway, and it stays Rangers 0, Hearts 1 on 22.
I think Seema's got to do better there. I think he looked to me like he was ahead of the Hearts defender. It's a decent ball in from Cantwell, he's moving on to it, and I think he just gets the header all wrong and it actually comes out the way.
Cantwell on the right hand side finds Lammers, his pass forward's cut out, break Cochrane's way, forward with the low ball to Vargas, crossing the halfway line in the centre circle to Ofaya, to his right back to Kenneth Vargas, exchanging passes with Ofaya, well known from Brighton. Of course, Alex Cochrane was well known from Brighton once upon a time before penning a full-time deal at the start of last season. He's in possession over on the far side as Cochrane rolling it back to Rolls, who shifts it in field to Beningame.
That's terrible from Rangers. You know, I don't think there's any clear idea of how they're going to stop. Lammers goes out to press and there's nobody behind them. Beningame's there just nice and easy, can pick up possession and just slide the ball into the attacking midfielders. It's controlled for Hearts. Very, very poor from Rangers in regards to how they're actually trying to close down.
Remember, Rangers would have been delighted to see Hibs take a point, or a couple of points. See Celtic drop a couple of points yesterday, took a point themselves, having lost here 4-0 last week. Ball forward towards Vargas, Caleb Goldson out for a throw-in to Hearts on this near side. Philippe Clement has the ball in his hands just now. He will not be impressed with what he's seeing, and I think he's suggesting to the fourth official, Craig Napier, that Ofaya has taken too long to come out to take the throw, which he will now, rolling it forward onto the chest of Shankland.
That's easy as well. I mean, that's a throw-in down the line, by the way. Not a single player in front of Lawrence Shankland. Just takes it in, controls, and Lawrence Shankland's got great strength, and he's able to just hold the ball and lay it back off to start the attack. These are little things that you'd expect to be a lot better from Rangers in regards to just attention to detail.
Lammers goes back though, you can hear what the fans made of that.
He actually takes up a really good position. You know, he's behind the Hearts midfield, good pass into him from Lundstrom, but then he takes his touch back beyond, and plays it safe.
Cantwell as well has found Raskan into the Hearts box. It goes for Seema, early ball in, it's missed by 3 Rangers players. Dessers, Lammers, Cantwell, none of them could get any serious purchase on the ball there, and it goes out for the Hearts throw-in on the far side. 24 and a half played, Rangers 0, Hearts 1.
Yeah, it's not even that good a ball. I thought it went right across the front. It's kind of into bodies, and they need someone attacking that. I think Dessers just miskicks it. He just takes his eye off the ball and it goes beyond him.
I think, just looking at the replay there, Richard, I think Cantwell gets the merest of touches, which actually takes it off the line that Dessers is obviously trying to hit it from.
Yeah, the guys have got a monitor in front of them, which is always a help. I think stand, Hearts would move up into 4th place.
It's next to you as well, Liam. You can look.
Well, it's right in front of you.
Sorry, it's 2 inches to the side of you.
Right, thanks for keeping us all right. The country is delighted to have you, Michael, on the airwaves this afternoon. It's always a pleasure. Here is James Tavernier wide on the right-hand side, just moving into the Hearts half. Rolling it forward to Cantwell, level with the Hearts penalty spot. As he looks for support, gets it from Tavernier. Over on the right-hand side, chip ball comes off the Hearts body, but it's going to stay in play for Cochrane, who thought he was fouled there by Raskan, who plays on, gets the byline, pulls it back with the cross, looking for Dessers, cleared by Civic, and Cochrane can't prevent the corner. It certainly looked like a foul in Cochrane. He's asking the question of the assistant on the far side.
It was poor play from Cochrane. It's one of those where he's in front of the attacker and just sort of throws himself to the deck.
I disagree, Michael. There's 2 hands in his back there. I don't think there's a lot of contact. I don't think there's a lot of force. But
Yeah.
as soon as you put both hands on, I think he's entitled to go down there. But if you're going to go down, fall on the ball.
Yes, well that's what defenders like to do at times, fall on the ball and catch it and make sure the ref's got a decision.
Tavernier with a cross, Goldson with a header, and it's cleared off the line by Shankland, of all people. Hoisted back in. Hearts get it half clear. Cantwell in the volley lashes it wide, and it stays Rangers 0, Hearts 1.
That is unbelievable defending from Lawrence Shankland there.
I mean, that is so close to being over the line, it's unbelievable.
And I don't think it is.
It's
I need to
not.
see it again, but it's fantastic. Just awareness from Shankland, the striker. You see him there, he's a front post area.
It's great
He drops
play.
back
It
onto
is.
the line. Oh, it's so close.
That is great play from Shankland. As Richard says, he's in the near post area. As soon as the ball goes over his head, he's getting back onto the line. It's exactly what you would say, in training. You're in the near post area. As soon as it goes over your head, get into the goal post, get in on the line, and he does it perfectly, by the way. And look, the replay of the shove on Cochrane, I was maybe slightly harsh on him. I think Richard's probably right. It's one of those ones you more often than not see a free kick being given, and if that had ended up in the back of the net, then Hearts would have been raging, because it effectively came from that foul that wasn't given. The ball went out for the corner, and almost Rangers getting level.
Well, I mean, that's two massive impacts in either goal mouth from Lawrence Shankland, whose goal separates the two here. But that's as good as a goal, because that is all but over the line.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the instinct to do it as well. You don't often see attacking players with that defensive mindset, but he's obviously just, he's the captain of the side, and it's probably why, because he knows his job, he knows his responsibility. And like we say there, front post area, your job is to get back on the line when the ball goes beyond you, and he does it perfectly there.
He's come on leaps and bounds the last couple of years. He's always a magnificent goal scorer, but at a lower level. But he's really stepped up in the last 18 months as Yilmaz picks up on the left, cross ball into the Hearts box, headed away by Kent. Clearance completed by Nieuwenhof. Davies gets there just ahead of Vargas. As Vargas chasing it down, slides in and Goldson, and out for a throw in it goes. But again, it's another example of just that little extra gear that Hearts seem to have here this afternoon. It's a long ball towards Sima, can't get onto it, and it's right through to Xander Clark. Rangers 0, Hearts 1 on 28.5 minutes. It's today the day that Hearts end that long wait for a top flight victory here at Ibrox. Said earlier, their last one, August 2014 in the Championship. Osman Sow got the winning goal. And as far as a top flight win's concerned here, March 2012 was the last time. Just a fortnight after Rangers went into administration, Hearts dished out a victory for themselves here, dished out defeat for the home team. And it was Black and Hamill who scored the goals in the second half to seal a first win since 2004. So they don't come along particularly often for Heart of Midlothian, but they put themselves in a winning position here. Rangers in possession with Raskan, out to Sima, now back to Raskan, down the left, steps in field from Ofaya, short ball to Lammers, now it's with Sima. Sima slipping it to the left-hand side of the box for Yilmaz, challenge from Sibic, and it comes back off Yilmaz last and behind, frustratingly for the Rangers supporters, for a Hearts goal kick. It's been an excellent Hearts performance by and large in this opening half an hour or so.
Yeah, it has, and it was a good defensive touch there from Sibic. Definitely the right decision from John Beaton to give the by kick. But, yeah, on the whole, so far for Hearts, it's a brilliant goal. Gives them something to work from and hold on to. But they've looked pretty comfortable defensively so far.
Looking to make it 3 away victories on the bounce for Hearts, and they've tended to struggle on the road in the last 2 or 3 seasons. In top flight football, that is. They've got a free kick here just inside the Rangers half. The Rangers bench today, incidentally. Rangers fans might already be looking at that. Suter, Jack Cifuentes, Dull, Wright, Devine, McCausland, Danilo. So with Toby Sibic though with this free kick, just a few yards inside the Rangers half. Right of the centre circle, pings it out to that left angle of the box where it's headed away by Tavernier, collected by Lammers on the turn, gets it into the path of Cantwell, driving across halfway, and it's a really poor ball. Dessers to his right, Sima to his left, gives it away. It's been Ingram's foul by Lundstrom.
Great play.
And that's going to be a yellow card for the Rangers number 4.
I mean, as this game wears on, it just shows you how much Beningame has been a loss to Hearts. He takes the ball brilliantly, lets it roll across, takes the first Rangers player out of it, and then his first touch takes it past Lundstrom, who comes across and fouls him and picks up the yellow card. Brilliant play, Beningame. He's been a very good performance from the opening half hour of him so far.
I remember watching him, Mikey, in his debut, I think it was against Celtic. In Ange Postecoglou's first league game, and Hearts, of course, won the game late through John Souttar. He was exceptional that day. Free kick, Hearts, in towards the edge of the Rangers box, is headed away. Collected here by Nieuwenhof.
I would love to see Lammers take that touch a bit, and he does just let it through his body on the back foot and go forward. Again, there before that, he takes a touch back. The way Cantwell actually takes an unbelievable first touch, and then obviously plays a poor pass, but everything goes back the way from Lammers.
Oh, that's given away by Goldson. Rangers looking half asleep today. A fire to the edge of the box for Shanklin. Little back heel, he almost managed to get it through to Nieuwenhof. He's got it back here at the edge of the Rangers box, Shanklin. Shanklin himself, you can see, smells blood here. Cochrane picks up in the left, chip ball in towards Shanklin again. Head away by Yilmaz, picked up by Afaya. Drags the ball back onto the left, has a little go at goal himself, blocked by a couple of Rangers defenders, Yilmaz included. Rangers able to get it away, but Desser's running back towards his own goal, gives it away. Shanklin in the box, teasing up for Vargas, who shoots over the bar from the left angle of the 6-yard area. Huge chance for Hearts to double up here. 32 on the clock. Rangers nil, Hearts 1. As the howls of derision from the Rangers supporters at this performance from their team. But Hearts have been excellent, and they possibly could have gone 2-0 up there. Should have.
I think he's definitely got to go across the goal because Shanklin's round the back post, but it just comes from Hearts being up in the game, winning second balls, and getting the ball wide, getting it into Shanklin's feet in the box. That would be a worry for me, the amount of times he's touched the ball in the Rangers box.
Here come Rangers up the other end. Tavernier back to Lammers, back to Tavernier in the box, lays it back to Lundstrom, who shoots. Blocked. Was it by a hand though? The Rangers supporters is one thing shot. John Beaton pointing to his chest as it goes behind for a corner only.
Well, I think it's hope rather than expectation. John Beaton seems convinced it's come off of a chest here. Yeah, all day long. Frankie Kent. Dessers is actually pulling his jersey just before the shot comes in. The centre half gets across and makes the block.
It's a good call by John Beaton.
But I was just going back. Vargas, he had time to compose himself. He didn't need to get the shot away so quickly. And he was off balance with the left foot strike, and it went way over the crossbar. Very, very good build-up play from Hearts. But the second phase came from Dessers taking a terrible touch on the edge of the box that Hearts were able to latch onto.
Drama in both boxes. There was just an official VAR check going on there. John Beaton holding play up. The corner will be taken in a moment, but he's having to go and speak to Cochrane and Dessers, who are touch tight on the 6-yard line. Almost on 34. Hearts leading 1-0 at Ibrox. Ridvan Yilmaz out swinging corner from the left. Bends it in, it's headed towards goal, but it's wide from Sima, who is Rangers' top scorer, 9 goals this season. He's off target, and it stays Rangers 0, Heart of Midlothian 1.
Yeah, again, I think he's got to do better. By the time he actually takes the header, there's nobody challenging him. I think he's got to get that ball on target. He gets up well, he's in a little bit of space. But this is the one thing that Hearts have got. They've almost got, if Rangers push up on the press, which they do, they've got the free kick, or the easy kick out to Civic against Yilmaz. Yilmaz doesn't even go and challenge for the ball, and it allows Hearts to get out. I know they've lost the ball here, but most often than not they've picked up second balls, and they start the game from there on the halfway line as opposed to in their own box.
Rangers have it here with Davies. Left-footed ball into the midfield for Cantwell. Poor touch, goes straight to Nieuwenhof. It's something that's spread throughout the entire Rangers team. There's not just one or two having an off day here. Beningami's lost out though to Raskan. Forward to Sima. Down the left, faced by Sibic. Now he's at the left angle of the box. Low ball in, looking for Lammers. Is cut out well by Kent, and out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Ball back by Raskan to Davies. Short ball forward to Lundstrom. To the right of the centre circle for Goldson.
That one pass there is the sort of thing that I think Rangers have got to do quicker. I think Lundstrom could have smashed that out to Tavernier.
Yilmaz with the cross ball in, headed away by Afaya. Picked up here by Shanklin, who hasn't done a thing wrong this afternoon.
Brilliant. That was really, really top striker play there from Shanklin.
Long ball, Vargas is going to chase this. Goldson's uncomfortable, Vargas goes after it, but Butland read the danger. Just got there in time, right hand side of his box. To come a long way from home, but he dealt with it superbly well to the Rangers goalkeeper. And you, Connor Goldson was toiling. Final almost 9 minutes of the first half here. with Hearts leading 1-0, but they have come with not just the goal, they've come with a threat in other moments as well in the game. So those Rangers are chasing desperately for an equaliser. Hearts trying to pick them off on the counter. Here's Yilmaz.
Faya's playing a very, very dangerous game right now.
Yeah, Sima gets away from him, shoots, blocked by Kent. Yeah, he's booked, Richard, isn't he? He's already booked, and he's constantly touch tight to Sima.
He's pulled him back on 3 separate occasions there. I think he's just lucky that Seaman doesn't get the ball, because if he does and goes down, he's off the pitch.
Just looking down at the bench for Hearts today, Michael McGovern, the sub-goalie. Kingsley is back in the squad. Haring, Boyce, Oda, Devlin, Halliday, Forrest and Denham.
I was just to go back to the point I was making before, when that ball comes to Lundstrom, it's just, you know, it's an easy pass to Connor Goldson. He's keeping the game moving, but if you want to try to get in behind the opposition, you've got to play quicker and you've got to miss players out at times. And if he smashes it out to Tavernier, you're basically missing a pass out. You're speeding the game up, you're getting it to the player that can potentially then go and attack down the side that little bit quicker. It's all those little things that, for me, make all the difference when you're trying to then get into small gaps in between the lines. If you play that pass into the centre half, just allows the opposition to shuffle across.
Sports Sound here at BBC Radio Scotland, across the frequencies, on digital and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Earlier we brought you a superb victory for Kilmarnock against an insipid Aberdeen. 2-0 goals from Vassell and Watkins either side of half-time. Kilmarnock 2, Aberdeen 0 it was. I'm going to go to Cerdine in just a moment, who's our pitchside reporter here. But it's Rangers on the attack with Lammers. Oh dear, that's not going to endear him to the fans as he shoots wildly over from 25 yards out. It stays Rangers 0, Hearts 1, almost in 38. Cerdinitsa.
Stephen Kingsley's coming on. He's stripped, he's ready to come on, and you guys have called it. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be at all surprised if the number 29 comes up and it's Odell Ofai, who's already on a yellow card. There it is. The sub is coming right now.
Well, they're delighted to have Kingsley back. Ofai's shaking his head and tutting away to himself, but you can see why Stephen Naismith and Frankie McAvoy have come to that decision. And the experience of Kingsley, he's been out, will come back on, but perhaps there might be another issue for Ofai, Mikey.
Well, just as he came off there, he was pointing towards his back as if he had a problem. I mean, I think, you know, Richard made a very good point before, sitting on a booking as well. He has been sort of grappling with Sima on occasion, so I think the combination of those two things has just made the manager's mind up that the changes need to be made. And
it's a little reshuffle as well.
Sibbick will come to the right wing back. Kingsley's gone in as the centre of the defensive three, and Frankie Kent's come across to the right of the three.
There's James Tavernier on the right hand side, out to Lammers. Very capable replacement, quite clearly, Stephen Kingsley. We actually saw him in the Scotland squad just over a year ago. You might remember Stevie Clark and all those injury and suspension issues for that game against Ukraine in Krakow. As Yilmaz slips it down the left, looking for Sima. He's not going to get there though, and Kent will see it behind for the goal kick. And on 39 it remains Rangers 0, Hearts 1. Well, he's actually given a corner. It must have come off Kent in the opinion of the officials.
Well, they were looking at each other desperately. You know, John Beaton didn't know, but because of Sima's reaction, he's looking at his linesman to give him a steer. Now, they're obviously communicating with each other. He didn't do anything, but I'd like to see the replay to suggest whether Sibbick got the touch or not.
Anyway, it is a Rangers corner that's been given. Yilmaz will take, outswinger with the left foot, headed away by Shanklin. Out to this near side. When Rangers lost 3-1 to Aberdeen here, their first half performance was a whole lot better than this. Yes, they lost the game 3-1. They should have been 2 or 3-0 up in the first half an hour.
They've been poor here. I mean, it's striking, you know, after a European game, and it looks very sort of laboured so far.
Celtic yesterday.
And it helps the fact that Hearts have got an early lead.
Foul by Nieuwenhof on Yilmaz on the near side. Level with the 6-yard line. It's no surprise when you see Celtic yesterday far from their best, and Aberdeen earlier today. We saw Hearts last season struggling off the back of the European matches. They just don't seem to be able to deal with it as they would like. Although in fairness, Celtic have been dealing with it pretty well up until yesterday. Rangers have a free kick to be taken by either Yilmaz or Tavernier, level with the Hearts 6-yard line. The final 5 minutes of the 45. These are crucial moments for Hearts. Tavernier takes it towards the back post. It's flicked behind for the corner on the reverse side.
It's a decent touch there from Rowles, but it's too deep. You know, he's got better quality than that, Tavernier. He's used to putting that right in the middle of the goal and allow his players to go and attack it, because even from there, if they head that back across, I think Hearts are set in the middle of the goal.
So Kai Rowles put in a decent performance against England at Wembley in that recent international break for Australia.
It's a huge few minutes for Hearts if they can get through to half-time.
No, absolutely. Tavernier with the corner, headed away by Rowles and out for a throw into Rangers, taken really quickly by Tavernier to Cantwell. Back to Tavernier. Tavernier wins a throw-in. He's looking for an option in blue and white to bowl it to. No sign of anyone showing for it now. Lammers comes towards him, but he pulls it in towards Dessers in the box. Dessers with his back to goal, looking for an option, and he gives it straight to Nieuwenhof.
That's terrible.
And now it's Shankland. Shankland has spotted Butland off his line. Oh, he's not that far away. And trying to repeat what Harry Kane did in the Bundesliga yesterday. He scored from inside his own half. That's gone wide of the left-hand post. He's got enough on that to give Jack Butland a fright.
That is not the worst attempt there. You know, he's hitting it on the move as well. It's not like he's static and he's able to set himself a little bit easier. That was not a bad attempt there, Richard.
Got form as well, and I think he scored against Zander for Dundee United, would that be right?
Yes,
Tannadice
at
against St
Tannadice,
Johnstone.
yep.
And he's certainly got the quality to do it, as we've seen there. It's just a bit unfortunate.
Almost broke Rascan's way at the edge of the penalty area. Hearts get away with it, and George Grant goes down, meeting the sandwich. No foul though, says John Beaton. One of the best views of it inside Ibrox. Slight challenge from Nieuwenhof, wins it back off Cantwell. Hearts have it with Beningame, rolls it to the right for Civic. Up the line on the right-hand side is Kenneth Vargas. Level with the edge of the centre circle, rolls it back into his own half for Kent, who in turn was back to Zander Clark. He ticked towards 43 minutes. 1-0 Hearts, chip ball forward by Clark, flicked on well by Vargas. Now Nieuwenhof's going to get in behind Yilmaz, right-hand side of the Rangers box, low ball in. He was looking for Shankland, he can't find him though. Poor ball.
He's 1v1 against Yilmaz there, and I think he had, you know, he clearly had him in the initial ball. For me, face the defender up, go and take him on, driving at the box. It was literally a 1v1 in the middle as well with Goldson and Shankland. Go and take him on, driving at the box.
Floodlights on here in Glasgow, heading towards half-time. The final Premiership action of the weekend, with Hearts leading it by a 1-0, scored by Lawrence Shankland on 4 minutes. Here goes Sima down the left. Sima with the ball across, a really good one, and it comes off Kingsley and behind for the corner. So very nearly reached Dessers.
Liam, without trying to simplify the game, why on earth do they not do that more often? Just play the ball to the wide man, leave him 1v1 against the full-back or the wing-back, and attack the byline. Look at the chaos that causes for defenders. It fired across the face of the goal. Defenders are running in, facing their own goal, and they're having to deal with it. They're having to defend it. I mean, they're so slow in their build-up, Rangers, and even then, so seldom do they have the players in the wide areas like that to just hit their feet and let them go and attack 1v1. Checking to see whether this hits Kingsley's arm, is it?
Yeah, John Beaton's just halting proceedings just now. Came off Kingsley, he's got his arms outstretched. I think it's going to be okay for Hearts. Yep, corner it is. Yilmaz takes, sweeps it high towards the penalty spot, flicked away by Kent. Lundstrom out to Tavernier on the right. Be very surprised if Philippe Clermont doesn't make changes at half-time. Hearts have won it back on the far side with Cochrane. Final 10 seconds of the first half. He's blasting across halfway, rolls it out to Vargas, left-hand touchline in front of the Govan stand, returning it to Cochrane, looking to get to the byline. Can he get there? Not quite. He goes behind for a goal kick to Rangers. Ben Davies did enough, and there's been 2 minutes added at the end of an excellent first half for Hearts. 1-0 up they are, looking just to get it through to half-time, and they'll hope that Rangers are as ponderous and statuesque in the second half as they have been in the first here. Cantwell on the right. How often though do you come to Glasgow, think you're in the game, think you're bossing things, and then they sucker you just before the interval, and Rangers have won a corner down the right hand side. Tavernier off out to take it in front of that packed away section. James Tavernier over it. I tell you, this is going to be a Extremely angry reaction at the half-time whistle, and Rangers don't find an equaliser. They've taken it short. Back to Tavernier, across it comes, rolls with a block and clearance out onto the far side. Rangers have a throw-in. Cantwell takes it quickly to Tavernier. Back it comes to Cantwell, floaty ball in. Zander Clark comes up and gathers at the second attempt. And we're into the second of the 2 minutes that were added on at the end of the first half. Rangers 0, Hearts 1.
That's not like a controlled, attempt at getting into the box. It's like a half volley with a left foot smashed into an area that the goalkeeper is going to be odds-on favourite to get it. Rangers have been poor. They've been slow. They've been,
second best,
lacking imagination.
Well, yeah.
And Hearts defensively strong. Midfield, Beningame has been good, and up top with Shanklin, they've posed a threat. So for Hearts, as an away performance, has been what you would be looking for.
Kingsley's left that, and it just had enough on the bounce there to carry it back to Clark, with Dessers bearing down on him. Hearts with just 3 victories here in almost 3 decades. 1-0 up at Ibrox.
It's almost been the perfect performance from Hearts in the first half. Possibly, slight negative is that chance for Vargas.
Shanklin strong on Davis, might get it back here. He managed to find Vargas, he couldn't really work it back to Shanklin. Lammers picks up. We played the 2 minutes that were added, so obviously the VAR check for the Kingsley one earlier, which came right in 45, as it slipped through by Raskan to Cantwell, left hand side of the box, chops back onto the right, goes down, the shot's blocked by Tavernier, and John Beaton gives Rangers a penalty. Added time at the end of the first half. Toby Sibbick's challenge, and Hearts' lead might be about to be wiped out here.
It's a
Clumsy on Cantwell.
It's a penalty all day long.
I'm not sure he needs to make the tackle.
No, Toby Sibbick, it's one of his, talking before about distribution. Clumsy is another one that's he knows. It's poor defending from Hearts.
I think, to be honest, and I think Cantwell's going down anyway. So if Toby Sibbick just pulls his foot away, I don't think Cantwell can stay on his feet, because he's moving that quick, trying to change direction. I think you just let him take the touch. You've got 5 men round the ball there. There's no need for him to make that tackle.
Yeah, he's not shooting, Sibbick.
No,
Cantwell's not getting a shot away.
He can't change his direction that quickly. So you're looking at an almost perfect performance from Hearts, and they could go on the break level.
James Tavernier scored 10 penalties last season, looking for his 7th goal of this season. Right-footed penalty with the last kick, surely in the first half. In he goes. Right-footed Tavernier. Oh, it's off the post. He's missed the chance. Rangers continue. Lundstrom can't get onto it. And John Beaton blows the half-time whistle, I think, as the Hearts supporters celebrate wildly on the far side. Tavernier off the left-hand post was the final act of the first half. And Hearts get away with it there. Toby Sibbick gets away with it. James Tavernier shaking his head in frustration. The Rangers fans booing at the performance of their team in that first half. And when presented with a golden opportunity to dig themselves out of a hole, James Tavernier, so often so reliable from the spot, rolled it off the left-hand post. The goalkeeper's right after Zander Clark had guessed the wrong way. It's Lawrence Shanklin's goal in 4 minutes, an outstanding looping header into the top left corner from Alex Cochrane's cross that separates the teams. Vargas could have made it 2-0, probably should have made it 2-0, and then Sibbick's foul on Cantwell in the box wasn't punished by Tavernier, and that means the half-time scoreline here at Ibrox as Hearts chase a first top-flight victory here since 2012. Rangers 0, Heart of Midlothian 1.
Rangers versus Hearts.
What a strike!
This is Sports Sound
From BBC Radio Scotland.
It lives on every terrace and in every stand. Across the leagues.
League One football, and in particular, it's going to be competitive.
What a great league the Championship is.
And throughout the land.
Goal for Cali Thistle. City scream back onto level terms.
She makes it look oh so easy.
We're hopeful that we'll get another good game here on BBC Alba.
Albion Rovers double their lead.
the cup can bring that magic.
From local sides to our national teams.
It's a first point in the Nations League for Scotland.
Oh, how they needed this.
Live football.
Don't miss a moment of the action.
It lives here. BBC Scotland.
So it is a 1-0 advantage for Hearts at the interval. They got that early goal. For the most part, they have played exactly as they would have hoped to. And then that scare just at the end of the half. But they have survived it. I was just having a quick look back because he does miss a few penalties, James Tavernier. In each of the last 3 seasons, he's missed 2 penalties. Now, he takes plenty, of course, and scores the vast majority, but he does have a tendency to miss out on times, and as I say, twice in each of the previous seasons. He often hits the post as well. Just have a quick look back at stats I keep. The previous season, it was 3 penalties he missed, and all 3 he hit the post. So that's 9 penalties in the last 4 seasons. I think 5 of them he's hit the post. So, and I suppose that's down to trying to be absolutely accurate, to getting it just inside the post. Well, he's hit the upright this time, and it has given Hearts that half-time advantage. Michael, is it a half-time advantage they deserve?
Yeah, I think they've been the better side, in terms of what you'd expect from an away performance and what you'd be expecting from Rangers trying to close a gap at the top of the table. They've not done enough, and Hearts, as I said, for what you'd be looking for in the way they've set up, they've been able to limit Rangers with regards to good opportunities, and on occasions on the counter attack they've looked like they could create. I think that the chance for Vargas, he should be doing better, and the goal itself is just an absolutely brilliant goal. Really well worked from one side, from a shy. They keep possession, they build the game back out the other side to Alex Cochrane, and a right-footed cross to the back post, and Shankland just with an exquisite finish, an absolutely brilliant goal. So in terms of do they deserve it, yes, I think they do, and I think that Philippe Clement will be raging, to be perfectly honest, at half-time, and he'll be, whether he's a sort of manager that reads the riot act, but I'm pretty positive he'll be sending the message to the Rangers players that that's not good enough, and they need to be doing a whole lot better if they've got any aspirations of being able to get 3 points here today and keep themselves in the hunt over the course of the season.
As you were describing the goal there, I was just looking back at the replay, and actually when that throw-in is taken on the right, it's Shankland who's away across there getting the ball. And they just kind of kept an eye on him. Just it's interesting just to watch the movement of him as he watches the play develop, just making sure that he gets himself into the right position. And as soon as it goes out to Cochrane, you see he begins to peel off the back of Yilmaz. It's just really astute striker play, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic play. It's he recognises clearly that he's got an advantage against Yilmaz. He's got the height advantage. He's more aggressive when he's attacking the ball, and he just puts himself in a position, like you say, that he can read the flight of the ball, which he picks up really, really quickly. A trait of any top striker, and he just positions himself and allows himself to get his steps in, to go and head the ball. And I mean, let's be honest, it's a chance. It's definitely a chance, but it's a fantastic header. And like I said before, there's not many strikers in the league that actually score that header, because he's still got a lot to do despite the quality on the cross from Cochrane. But just a fantastic header from a player who we know he's a goal scorer, but his all-round performance today has been excellent.
Put it this way, Richard, if that is up the other end, Rangers are not scoring. Dessers is not scoring that goal, plain and simple. Lawrence Shankland's only striker on the party here that scores that goal. Look, it's great for Hearts. Lawrence Shankland is the captain, and he's the number 9 in the maroon jersey. But there was a wee bit of chat during the summer about whether Rangers were going to be interested, and it never really came to anything. And it would appear that Michael Beale didn't fancy him. And Michael Beale has ultimately paid the price with his job, and in large part down to very, very poor recruitment. And in that first half, it's just been a continuation of what it's looked like all season, that Dessers and Lammers in particular offer very little.
Well, that has been the issue for the most part of the season. Sima really is the only one who has been contributing in terms of goals. Hearts have kept him largely fairly quiet, Richard, this afternoon, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I think Michael spoke about it earlier in the game that he's taken up that inside position and allowing Yilmaz to be the higher one. But, you know, playing the position that Yilmaz did, I would always much rather my winger ahead of me out wide, because wingers are better 1v1. You know, you don't get you get some fullbacks who are good attacking 1v1, but typically for me Sima's a better attacker than Yilmaz. Now I know they're maybe looking to cross the ball into the box, but on the one occasion that Sima gets down the left hand side, he gets beyond Civic, he puts in a decent ball to the front area, and Hearts have to defend it. Having said that, I don't think Rangers had enough players in the box attacking the ball, but it caused problems just with his willingness to get down the side and cross it in. But too often, as Michael spoke about again, is he takes up these central positions. That's where Hearts are strong, that's where they've got all their players, and he's not really getting a lot of joy, and they have defended him quite well, because he's, other than that one attempt down the left, I can't really remember him doing too much.
James Tavernier did have the opportunity. I mean, it's amazing because he, as I said, he scores plenty, Rich, but he's a consistent misser of penalties in that respect as well. The point I was making there, suggesting there, that hitting the post quite often, more than half the ones he's missed in the last 4 seasons, it's hit the post. And is that down to just trying to be too accurate?
Well, yeah, I think the most impressive part about that stat is the fact that you not only record when players miss penalties, you actually record how they miss the penalties.
I sadly do. I have my laptop here and I can name a penalty that was missed in the last however many years, and I'll tell you how it was missed.
No, yeah, you're completely right though. He's trying to be too accurate. You know, Big Xander's a tall goalie. He's a big frame. He obviously thinks I need to put it right in the corner to score the goal. Having said that, he puts Xander the wrong way. But then he overcooks it and he hits the post, and I think that probably just kind of sums up Rangers in an attacking sense in the first half. You know, James Tavernier himself, his quality's not been great from crosses or set plays, and I think, you know, that's in that moment he's probably looking at, take this penalty, we'll get ourselves back in level terms and I'll reset my own performance, but it wasn't to be. Good play from Catmull, right enough to win the penalty. Yeah. Definite penalty as well. Silly tackle, but no, I just think that sums Rangers up in an attacking sense. They've definitely got to offer more, and I think when you look at Hearts midfield, certainly we talked about Beningame, they've won, you know, countless tackles, countless second balls. You're probably looking 15-20 tackles on second balls. Rangers will be in single figures of how many tackles they've won, how many times they've picked up a second ball, and I think that's would be a huge concern. And you see the fans here, you know, yes, you know, they're upset and they've got every right to be upset, but they just want their players to, you know, to kind of show a bit of energy. And I think Hearts kind of stifled them in the early part of the game, and they never really seemed to get themselves going. And when they did, you know, we spoke about it, Sima was the only one who would kind of try and run beyond. Everything's in front of Hearts, and I think, you know, I would expect, as Michael said, I would expect a huge change at the start of the second half. I thought Rangers would come out all guns blazing at the start of the half. It never panned out that way. Hearts getting the early goal kind of kills the crowd and gets them on your back early, and they never really recover from that. So I would expect them to start the second half, you know, like they've just been drinking rocket fuel at half time.
You know, you see when Sima did get that 1v1, and I said it without trying to overly simplify the game, to a great extent, that's what Rangers need to do. And Richard hits the nail on the head, for me certainly, is that far too often they play with no wingers, and the fullbacks pick the ball up, they've got nobody in front of them, but their winger will step inside to try to create a bit of space for them to attack. But if you're a defender and you see the player 30 yards perhaps deeper than you attacking down that side, you've got plenty of time to shuffle across, try and close the space, or if they're throwing the balls into the box, your big centre halves are going to lap that up. I just think they're never stretching the game in the wide areas in particular. They've never got the wing back or the full back posing a question to the opposition and saying, I've got the ball, do you fancy the 1v1? It happened with Sima and he did it brilliantly, but they don't do it often enough. And when you play the balls across from behind the defence, that's where you cause problems. If you can get to the byline and play cutbacks, that's what causes defences all sorts of problems, and it gives easier finishes. And dearie me, could Dessers or Lammers not do with an easier finish?
Yeah.
But you know, Sam Lammers, again, you know, look, it's half time, they've got the second half to come, and you'd be expecting better, but so far this season we've not seen it. He's playing number 10, and not only is there no real end product, he's not generally involved in the game a great deal. And the biggest thing as well now is there's a few occasions when Raskan and Lundstrom have got the ball in particular, the number 10 for me has got to be one of their main. If you look at the passing angles, that's got to be one of your main players that you're hitting the ball with, because he's playing in between the lines. It's where you can penetrate. I think there's been a few occasions where they've not played him the ball when he's been on, and it may well be because they're not convinced, they're not confident he's actually going to do anything with it.
It is going to be a fantastic or fascinating 45 minutes. I remember over the years, many years, and I thought it's not quite that really tight title race that we've got this season, but certainly the seasons where, and it's generally, it's been Celtic and Rangers, of course, have been going neck and neck. It's amazing how often, if one plays earlier and drops a point or points, well, it would have to be points, wouldn't it? But it drops 2 or 3 points, then so often the team with the opportunity to claw them back in goes and does exactly the same when they finally get to play either later in the day or the following day. So you feel it's a big 45 minutes ahead. I mean, if Hearts go on and win this, not only is it brilliant for them and move them up into 4th place, but my goodness, Celtic having been held to a scoreless draw at Easter Road yesterday, they're not going to be able to believe their luck if that indeed ends up increasing their advantage at the top of the table. In England this afternoon, some full times in: West Ham 0, Everton 1, Calvert-Lewin. Aston Villa beat Luton Town 3-1. John McGinn got the first goal on that one. There were a couple of own goals, Lockyer for Villa and Eni Martinez, Aston Villa goalkeeper for Luton Town. Brighton and Fulham drew 1 apiece. Evan Ferguson for Brighton, João Palhinha for Fulham. Liverpool have beaten Nottingham Forest 3-0. Jota, Nune, oh, that's been changed. It was Trent Alexander-Arnold initially, but it's now come through as Jota, Nunez and Salah. And then the Manchester derby, United 0, City 1. Erling Haaland with a penalty in the 26th minute. Earlier in the Premiership at Rugby Park, a very convincing win for Kilmarnock. It was 2-0, it could have been much more. Vassell just before half-time. Watkins midway through the second half, and Killie moved up into 4th spots at that time. A very, very impressive performance, but Aberdeen were absolutely dreadful. Highlights on Sports Scene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. There'll also be Sports Scene highlights on Wednesday night. There's Hibernian Ross County on Tuesday, that's live on Sports Sound. On Sports Sound on Wednesday as well, with Dundee Rangers, Celtic St Mirren, Hearts Livingston, Motherwell Aberdeen and St Johnstone Kilmarnock. The highlights of all 6 matches. Sports Scene 10:40 BBC One Scotland on Wednesday night. And do listen out if you like your podcast. Do listen out for the Scottish Football Podcast that is out daily, Monday to Friday, wherever you download your podcasts. Hearts have the advantage at the interval. It was given them by top scorer Lawrence Shankland, his 7th of the season, a really clever header which gave Jack Butland absolutely no chance. I think we've seen an indication towards the end of the half. You need to be fully concentrated if you're going to go to Ibrox, go to Celtic Park and get the wins. Hearts have been given a bit of a lifeline with Tavernier missing that penalty. Can they capitalise on that? Can they go on and pick up a rare victory in Govan? Rangers 0, Hearts 1, as we head back for live second half commentary with Richard Foster, Michael Stewart and Liam McLeod.
The Rangers fans celebrating Cyril Desser's half-time substitution like they'd scored a goal. Danilo replacing him for the second half. Rangers lost 4 matches in the Premiership in the whole of last season. If they don't overturn this and lose this one, they'll have lost 4 of their first 10 of this season. As Sima gets the second half underway, that's the only change at the interval. Hearts made a change in the first half with Afaya being replaced by Kingsley, as Rangers pick up with Ben Davis over on the left-hand side. They last lost as many as 4 games in the first 10 of a top-flight season in 1983. So it's a heck of a long time ago. 83-84 season it was. They actually lost 6 of their first 10 that season, 8 of their first 12. And they've never lost as many as that in the opening 10 fixtures since then. I'm back almost 40 years. In fact, it is 40 years this season, as Lammers picks up right-hand side of the Hearts box. They go left to right in the blue shirts, white shorts, towards the Copeland Road end, but the cross is overhit and it goes out for a Hearts throw-in. over on that far side. Hearts in the maroon and white, shooting towards the Broom Lawn, the end of the stadium where their supporters are housed. And a 1-0 lead, Mikey, but also Rangers missing that penalty will have given them another little injection, I would have thought.
Well, certainly it makes sure that the dynamic at half-time is positive. You know, had they lost the goal, it would have been a bitter pill to swallow. But now the second half started, that's gone. It's behind them. They've got to make sure that they perform as well as they did and stop Rangers.
Yilmaz with an overhit cross from the left-hand side. Tavernier's not going to get there at the back end of the box. It's cleared by Cochrane.
And by the way, you look at the substitution that's made. Rangers, Dessers comes off. The crowd are cheering that Danilo's coming off and he's on. Danilo, and that Dessers is off. There's a few that are out there that are fortunate they've not been hooked at half-time as well. Sam Lammers has to start doing something in a Rangers jersey, or you've got to say, why is he continuing to play?
There's Lundstrom rolling it out to the left-hand side. Rangers starting the second half on the front foot as the rain continues to teem down here in Glasgow. Picked up by Sima. Back to Lundstrom, takes a touch, he fires for goals, deflected, breaks to Danilo, and Clark saves! Surely offside in any case. Indeed, the flag has gone up against Danilo, but it's still magnificent goalkeeping by Zander Clark, because he doesn't know the flag's going up for sure.
Yeah, you can see the replay there that Danilo is offside, but you're right, Zander Clark, great save. Although Danilo shouldn't even be giving Zander Clark a chance. He's obviously been out for a few games with his cheekbone issue, and he's got the mask on. It's a big opportunity for him to grasp that centre forward role, because it is certainly up for grabs.
Rascan for Rangers, and attacking again. Lammers wide in the left to the Hearts box, left angle, rolls it back to Lundstrom, takes a touch, doesn't shoot this time, and closed down by Beningame. Finds Tavernier, back to Lundstrom, gets it back at the edge of the penalty area from Sima, and drags the shot well wide of the left-hand post. 3 minutes into the second half, it's already been a whole lot better from Rangers. Hearts though leading by 1-0 as they look to see this out.
I mean, yes, it's better and it's quicker and it's a little bit more incisive, but the same issue applies. Tavernier picks that ball up, he's probably 25 yards out from the goal, but he's well inside the box in terms of his width, and there's not a single player outside him, so everything then has to go back in the field into where all the bodies are. Lundstrom does pretty well, he gets a 1-2 and he's able to get a strike away, but it's where all the bodies are.
Cantwell fouled by Cochrane over on this near side. The Rangers fans wanting the Hearts player yellow carded. It's just a free kick. Cantwell short to Lundstrom, back to Cantwell, out to the right hand side. Lammers on the left foot gives it straight to Beningame. Now Nieuwenhof, then Beningame poking it forward for Shanklin, the goal scorer.
Good play from Beningame again in midfield, and great play there from Shanklin.
He's given it away, but it was great play initially. As he plays it up the line, it was straight to Goldson, but Rangers give it away in double quick time, this time through Rascan. Here's Shanklin, little shimmy away from Lundstrom, firing it to the right of the centre circle for Sibic. Sima nicks it back off him though. Now it's with Davies, forward to Cantwell, to the right of the circle for Rascan, back to Tavernier, short ball to the edge of the centre circle for Lundstrom. Fires it out to the left hand side for Yilmaz, down the line for Sima. Seamer's level with the edge of the D of the Hearts box, turns it back the way low along the grass to Lundstrom. It's opened up a little bit for the Scouser. He pulls it back to Rascan though, and out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Square ball in field for John Lundstrom. The Rangers trying to find a way through this maroon wall. It's slipped forward, it's cut out well by Rolls, feels he was fouled. Rangers are playing on. Danilo moving it back towards the penalty spot where it's half away, and then Lundstrom with the effort, which is blocked. Now it's with Tavernier, and play stopped because there's a head knock, I think, on the 18-yard line by one of the Hearts defenders who blocked that effort. No sympathy from the home fans, of course. It stays Rangers 0, Hearts 1. Richard Foster.
Yeah, I think Rangers trying to move the ball quicker. The pace of the game, their pace of their game has increased. That's a real sore one. The referee's right to stop that. Hopefully he's okay. Hits him right in the side of the face. Can't imagine that was nice on a cold day. But yeah, I think they have increased the tempo a little bit. I think Danilo gives them a more natural striker for me, kind of someone who will kind of have a bit more presence in the box. But you can hear the expectancy of the crowd. They expect Rangers to come out here and get themselves back in the game. Hearts are still comfortable, I think, with the ball going wide. The ball's played in front of them a lot of the time. They set up well in the box. They've got the 3 centre halves. I think they need to get, you need to get Cantwell involved, get him moving with the ball into the box, playing little 1-2s as we've seen Lundstrom earlier. They need to try and move Hearts around, because if they just go wide, Hearts set themselves up, and the cross is going to have to be pinpoint because they've got that defensive structure in place.
I'm just looking at the last couple of minutes, and I'm wondering whether Hearts have changed the shape slightly, with Vargas going out onto the right hand side rather than through the middle with Shankland. So it's almost like they're just setting themselves up to have that back 5 in place with 4 in front and Shankland up top on his own. I thought they were handling the situation pretty well in terms of midfield, being able to shuffle across and having the 2 up top. I don't know whether that just gifts even more of the initiative to the home side.
The Rangers fans aren't happy, neither's the Rangers captain, because John Beaton's letting Hearts have the uncontested drop ball down on this near side. Kai Rolls is off the pitch right now, having received a bit of treatment. I saw Celtic's Alistair Johnston at Easter Road yesterday. He came back on and had to come off in double quick time, replaced by Tony Ralston yesterday after taking the ball full in the face. The situation for Kai Rolls. There he's back on now. Rangers have it with Goldson. Short ball to Lammers, 52 in the clock. 1-0 Hearts at Ibrox.
Vargas is 100% out on the right hand side of the midfield now. If they're going to do that, they need to get touch tight. They need to put pressure on the ball. They can't just sit.
Here come Rangers down the left. Yilmaz with the cross. Too much on it for Danilo. It swings right across the goal frame and out to this near side. Tavernier keeps it in play. Now it's with Lundstrom, short to Lammers. It's been all Rangers since the break, as they look for an equaliser. Digged into the box by Lundstrom, cleared by Hearts. Breaks to Tavernier. Square for John Lundstrom. Lundstrom under pressure from Nieuwenhof. Turns it back to Goldson. Shankland is at close quarters. He passes it short to Lundstrom, to Cantwell, then to Lundstrom again. It's been hard work for Rangers, this. Davies, left hand side of the centre circle to Yilmaz. Out to Sima. He'll test Sibic. It's a poor touch from Abdallah Sima, and Sibic has it back for Hearts, and he's striding forward. Across the halfway line he goes. No, he's got that in his locker, if you remember his Scottish Cup goal at Easter Road last season. He turns it back to Meningame, then back in turn. He goes to Kent, he finds Kingsley, he finds Rolls, he finds Cochrane on this near side. Low ball forward to Shankland, first time. Grant gives chase. Goldson's there to hook it out for a throw-in on the near side for the visitors, who have managed to weather that early second half.
Brilliant
attacking fray from Rangers.
It was good, Richard, but do you not think as well, from Rangers' perspective, they give the ball away and it's just a bit flat, try to win it back.
Civic strides past 3 or 4 players, does really well, keeps the ball, and they work it all the way along the back line and then get it out to the left hand side, and then comes into Shankland, and Goldson makes the clearance, but they have the ball in Rangers half now, or they had the ball, sorry. Could it be,
Having drawn at Easter Road yesterday, that Celtic actually extend their lead at the top of the league? As Lundstrom finds Cantwell.
I do think we still need to appreciate that the new manager's not long in the door. He's obviously wanting things to change from the way they were before, and that does take time. But I think if you see energy and appetite from your players, those changes happen more quickly. And the second half certainly has been far better than the first.
Danilo won the flick header, almost found Cantwell as well, as Kingsley clears it out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. Bowled quickly by Tavernier into the midfield for Lundstrom. Right of centre, short forward to Cantwell, first time, sweeps it out to Tavernier, gets the cross in, it was better. It's headed away in the 6-yard line though by Kingsley. Cantwell gets there ahead of Nieuwenhof and finds Lundstrom. Now Raskan back towards Lundstrom. Vargas with a challenge, but it breaks to Ridvan Yilmaz at the edge of the area. His pass forward is cut out, but it breaks to Danilo. Rangers winning a lot more second balls in the second half. Beningame's lost inside his own box, but Hearts have enough defenders in the way to prevent Danilo getting a run in on goal or even a shot, as Shankland picks up on the right, can't keep it in play. Rangers have a throw-in over on the far side.
The big thing for Hearts will be keeping an eye on Beningame in the middle of the park. Just that moment there just shows a little bit of lacking match fitness. He's been very good so far, but he's had very little game time, and he just starts to look a little bit tired, and they can't afford to have that when they're doing so much work off of the ball.
Lundstrom to Tavernier, now Cantwell at the edge of the box, finds Danilo. Danilo with his back to goal, feeds it back to Lundstrom. Passes it to the right for Tavernier. Lammers stabbing it into the penalty area. It's bouncing and pinballing around between Rangers and Hearts player. Breaks back to Lammers. Now is with Lundstrom. He goes down to the edge of the box. No free kick. Cantwell picks up the scraps. It's the edge of the area. Dances into it. Shoots. It's blocked. Spins out to the left-hand side. Back for Lammers, and he puts it over the bar from inside the 6-yard area. And it stays Rangers 0, Hearts 1. It's just not happening for a couple of the Rangers summer signings. Dessers, who's not even playing now in the second half, and Sam Lammers here, just about, what was he, 5 yards from goal, the edge of the 6-yard, he's inside it, and he could, as Michael's pointing out, have left it for Danilo, who's in behind him. It's over the bar, and it's a goal kick to Hearts, who continue to lead here in Glasgow by a 0-0.
The thing is, it wasn't great play from Rangers, it was just persistence. They just kept going, kept getting after the ball, winning second balls, keeping the attack alive right in the edge of Hearts' box. And when you move the ball quickly, you see Campbell running into the box of the ball. It's hard to defend against, and we never seen this in the first half, so full credit to them. They've livened up in the second half.
Lammers has squeezed it through to Campbell, he's inside the box. His pullback's blocked and out for a corner. He's to settle for that. Danilo was waiting 6 yards out. 57 on the clock. Hearts lead 1-0, but Rangers are knocking a little louder on the door right now.
Hearts, I'm just a wee bit concerned with the way they've set up in the second half. They're just inviting more pressure from Rangers. When they turned over the ball there, Vargas had no intention of trying to go and win it back. He just dropped right back into midfield.
Out-swinging corner from Tavernier, main stand side, whips it in. There's a downward header from Sima, but it goes bouncing down and up and over the bar, and it stays Rangers 0, Hearts 1. It does appear as though there's going to be a change coming up for the visitors, Kerdine.
And it's a double substitution at Devlin and Forrest coming on. Hearts obviously under the cosh since the second half started, and Stephen Naismith looking maybe for a bit more ball retention, a bit more of an out ball as well. So Devlin and Forrest, the early second half subs for Hearts, who continue to lead.
Earlier today, an easy win for Kilmarnock, 2-0 against Aberdeen. Tomorrow, you'll get Scottish Cup action, Musselburgh against Clyde on the BBC Scotland TV channel. Tuesday, Hibs Ross County here on the radio. Scottish women's national team against Netherlands as they play each other again in the Women's Nations League. That's on BBC Alapa, red button English commentary on that one. And then 5 Premiership matches on Wednesday, including Dundee Rangers and Hearts Livingston. As Rangers pick up here, Lammers rolls it back to Lundstrom. Celtic St Mirren as well on Wednesday evening. Raskan picks up for Rangers in the left-hand side of the box. His cross is cut out though. Lundstrom nips in ahead of Shanklin to knock it back onto halfway for Ben Davies.
It just becomes wave after wave of attack though, Liam. You know, Hearts are camped deep inside their own half.
Out to Tavernier wide on the right for Rangers. Moving in field.
It still poses the question of Rangers are, you know, they've got to try and break Hearts down, but I think that was still there in the first half, but Hearts had a greater threat when they did pick the ball up.
Lammers finds Goldson. Again, Hearts with everyone behind the ball just about. Here's Goldson again to Tavernier. And back to Connor Goldson. And again, it's pretty pedestrian from the home team. They've had that burst in the opening 14-15 minutes of the second half. Quieting down a little bit now. It's Yilmaz picks up and moves it back to Lundstrom. Square ball for Goldson, takes a touch, shifts it with the outside of the boot to Tavernier on the right hand side, bends the cross in. Clark comes, gets a little touch onto it, breaks to Raskan into the side net.
He's hurt himself as well.
And half of Ibrox thought that was the other side of the post when they saw the net ripple. It stays Rangers 0, Hearts 1 here, and now a sodden Ibrox approaching the hour mark, and Hearts will make that double change right now. And the first player to come off, George Grant, will be replaced by Alan Forrest. Cammy Devlin will come on as well.
Yeah, I think Hearts just need to get through this spell, because you can hear the crowd that even on a backwards pass there, they're starting to get agitated again, even though I think Rangers are doing the right thing.
Sorry, Foz, Binningham's the other player to come off.
No worries, Liam, I'll let you jump in there. They're doing the right thing for me. Rangers are moving the ball, they're passing, they're trying to press and probe at Hearts' back line. There's no point in them just shelling the ball into the box and hope for the best. I think they're doing the right thing. Rangers fans need to kind of stick with them. Having said that, you know, Lammers has missed a chance from inside the 6-yard box, which is always going to frustrate the crowd. But you know, there's a Hearts player. I think there's a Neuenhoff. He's stretching his calves. they've put in a power of work, and I think Michael's right that if they don't ever have the outlet and they're not able to retain the ball higher up the pitch, it's going to be, you know, a full half of waves of attack, which inevitably Rangers will score.
Well, Nicholas Raskan, as Richard was saying, he's pulled something in the act of shooting.
I think it's maybe when he's had the shot. I'm just wondering whether when he's had the strike, he's rolled his ankle, or just as he's landed, he looks very uncomfortable. He got up there, he got up and then sat straight back down. I think you're right, Liam. I think a substitution will need to be made.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to stand up there and ended up sitting back down. He's wagging his finger at the medical team, so it looks as though Raskan is going to have to be replaced. Philippe Clement went back into his technical area to have a word with his coaching staff and trying to work on Raskan just now. It's a substantial stoppage.
Stretchers coming out, that's a real concern. I mean, it looked like the doctor was trying to convince him or calm him down to some extent, but he's lying there with his head in his hands. Must be quite a bad one.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit of encouragement from a couple of his teammates there, but it looks as though Nicholas Raskan's afternoon is over. And Rangers will be forced into at least one change just now. Carradine will be able to tell us about it.
Scott Wright is getting stripped, Liam. You're right, it does look on the Rangers bench as though somebody else might be coming on as well, but certainly the instant replacements for Raskan, if indeed he goes off, and now we see the stretcher getting prepared, so clearly he's going to come off. It's going to be Scott Wright coming on.
Yeah, Wright will be on shortly, but they're just placing Raskan in the stretcher at the moment. Yeah, highlights of today's two matches: Kilmarnock 2, Aberdeen 0. This game, which currently sees Hearts leading by 1-0 on Sportscene this evening, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel, repeated on BBC One Scotland later in the evening.
Well, hopefully he's okay, Raskan. That's never good to see somebody getting stretchered off.
No, big games to come as well. Remember, these two meet again at Hampden next Sunday. Carradine asked Stephen Naismith if they could beat Rangers twice in Glasgow in a week. At least how could they go about trying to do that? Well, another 27 minutes plus stoppages away from achieving the first half of that. I'd argue that given the realistic hopes of everyone outside of Celtic and Rangers, just about the last decade or so, anyone outside of Celtic, best chance of winning anything else is the two cup competitions. You could argue next week's the more important one, but it's not like Hearts would turn their nose up at a victory here at Ibrox for the first time in a long time. So a good few minutes of stoppage there. Raskan off, right on, and a long goal kick from Xander Clark from Raskan's shot, which hit the side net 3 or 4 minutes ago. It's out of play for a throw into Rangers over on that far side. Yilmaz takes midway inside his own half. Rolling it back to Davis. The rain really is tipping down from the skies above here as Goldson rolls it out to Tavernier wide on the right hand side. Chops in field under pressure from Vargas. Tavernier back to Goldson into the centre circle for Davies. Out it comes to Sima, touches it back to Yilmaz. Now Lundstrom then left to right of the circle for Goldson. Everyone bar Jack Butland's in the Hearts half right now. Hearts are holding on to their lead. That's clearly the tactic right now. Can't get out really as Lundstrom feeds it to the right of the box for Tavernier. Back to Cantwell on the left foot. Delicate ball in. There's two delicates easily away by Kai Rolls. Yilmaz goes chasing after it to keep it in play on the far side. It's actually gone out for a Rangers throw in any case. Yilmaz bowls it back to Davis. Almost on 65, so 25 plus stoppages to go. And it's Ben Davies on the left. Ball down the line to Yilmaz. Back it comes to Davies. Now it's Wright. Wright switching the play out to Tavernier on the right-hand side. It's a poor ball for Lammers, who was on the stretch, couldn't get onto it. Breaks though to Cantwell from Rolls' clearance. Cantwell jinking in field and shifting it into the centre circle for Davis. Then back to Goldson. It's patient at best, you would say, from Rangers right now. Tavernier to Lundstrom, rolls it to the edge of the box for Lammers, back to John Lundstrom, forward to Danilo, first time onto the 18-yard line, it's cleared by Kai Rolls once more. He's been solid today.
Hearts are,
well, it's a long ball. Goldson, Danilo flicks it towards Sima, but Sima had moved towards the goal. The ball moved towards the other side of the box. Sima gets it back, finds Lammers. He was charged down and behind for a Rangers corner. 66 on the clock, 1-0 Hearts. How long is this lead going to last though? Because there's only surely so long Stephen Naismith's team can withstand even just the amount of play that is in their defensive third. Outswinging corner coming up from Ridvan Yilmaz over on the far side between the Sandy Jardine and Copeland Road stands. Left-footed into the area. Danilo wins the header, but he heads it over the crossbar, and Hearts survive another wave of Rangers attack with their 1-0 lead intact.
Yeah, all I was going to say is they're very deep Hearts. Obviously they've got loads of bodies in the box. I'd like to see the Rangers players maybe shoot a little bit from distance, 20 yards out. There's a lot of bodies. Go back to the game where we were here, we'll lose 1-0 from a deflected shot. I think you've got to try and make something happen. Constantly going, they do need to keep the ball and they do need to rotate the ball and try and probe, but eventually they need an end product from it. Otherwise, Hearts just keep shifting back and forth. And you spoke for about 3 minutes earlier because nothing really happened in the game. They kept the ball well, fine, but the Rangers fans expect more than just keep the ball. They need to try and score a goal, obviously.
Well, it's not like Xander Clark's been overworked today, is it?
No, not at all.
The Shanklin over on the far side, midway inside the Rangers half. It's the first time they've been up for a while.
But it's more great play from the centre forward.
Yeah, Nieuwenhof, and now Cochrane swings the left football in. Shanklin comes in, puts it across the face of goal. Yilmaz left it. Shanklin couldn't find a teammate though, and it stays Rangers 0, Hearts 1. It was almost the Cochrane-Shanklin combination that has given Hearts the lead in this game, that came to the fore again there. And after all this Rangers possession in the second half, Hearts with one attack, probably their first real attack of the second half, and we've played half of it, and they were almost in for another one.
Yeah, I mean, because they get the ball quickly into the box, Rangers don't have time to set. Obviously, Rangers are kind of pushing for the equaliser, but I just don't think Forrest in the middle of the pitch thinks that Shanklin's going to get the ball across there. Otherwise, he's got a tap in. If he gambles on that, Shanklin does brilliant. I mean, it's a fantastic cross this time from Cochrane's left foot. Shanklin follows it all the way. Great connection, and if Forrest continues his run, he just runs into there and he taps it into an empty net. But good counter-attack play from Hearts. But again, Mikey's right. Starts with brilliant hold-up play from Shanklin on the far side of the pitch. He wanders into that back post area again, where he knows he's 1v1 with Yilmaz, and then he, cuts a great ball back. And Hearts, if they gamble on that, they're 2-0 up.
You've got a problem here, Mikey, or at least Stephen Kingsley. I think he's
okay.
going to be okay. It was a horrible landing, wasn't it?
Yeah, he just went up for the header over the top of Danilo and landed a little bit awkwardly, but I think he'll be okay. Just going back to Shanklin, he's looked a little bit off at times this season, and I think that's large part down to the fact that Hearts haven't created loads of chances this season. But when you look at him as a player, for me, Cyril Dessers couldn't lace his boots, and it's all the better for Hearts that they've got a striker of that calibre.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about and looking at Rangers spending big money, like $4.5 million on Dessers,
yep,
and they let Cholak go out the door as well, that's poor work from Rangers.
I saw Cholak quoted this morning as saying he was surprised his Rangers career came to such an abrupt end. He was actually in that piece discussing potentially finishing his career at Ibrox, shipped out to Parma in Italy, second tier in the summer. And yeah, I mean, Shanklin has been mentioned in dispatches with regards to Rangers. The Hearts fans won't be happy with anyone talking about that. Philippe Clement was asked about him the other day as Lundstrom gives it straight to Shanklin. Vargas couldn't get onto the pass though. I think in many respects he's missed Josh Ginnelly this season. He was a great foil for him last time, wasn't he?
Massively. Because Shanklin, he's not blessed with blistering pace, but the combination of the two was a good balance.
Here come Rangers, shifted infield to Cantwell, 70 on the clock, 1-0 to Hearts. Goal scored ages ago, 4 minutes in by Shanklin. Here's Sima, left-hand side of the box. Good skill, shuffles back, finds Lundstrom, first time ball, and it's blocked, and Hearts are able to clear. 49,530 inside Ibrox this afternoon.
Oh, Vargas, he's done brilliant to begin with.
Giving it away.
He had a crossfield ball. Shanklin was in on the backside of Ben Davies. Instead, he was trying to then nutmeg Tavernier again.
Lammers out to Seema, left-hand side of the Hearts box, hits the byline, pulls it across. Clark got a touch and it's cleared, but only half away. Lammers, left-hand side of the area, gets it out from within his feet, and then the touch off his toe puts it behind for a goal kick in front of an irate Copeland Road stand off to our right. And the frustration continues for the Rangers manager Clermont down at the edge of his technical area with a jacket on against the conditions here at Ibrox, which are becoming slippier with every passing second as the rain teams down. Kerdin is looking like he's ready to speak to us.
Another couple of subs, I think, coming from Hearts. Haring is already stripped, and it looks like Yatura Oda is getting, via the translator, the instructions from Stephen Naismith as well. But certainly Haring's about to come on.
Score was the translation, I think.
Here's Cantwell, the edge of the area, he shoots, he's kind of scuffed it though and made it easy for Xander Clark. Cantwell, the edge of the box, he scored against Hearts last time these two met in that 2-2 draw at the tail end of last season, but Richard, it actually opened up beautifully for Cantwell at the edge of the area there.
Yeah, it did, and it's, you know, he's had a couple of opportunities in his right foot that he's not shot when I thought he could have. He's opted for the extra pass.
Oh, brilliant.
Great from Shanklin again. Forrest to the edge of the area, runs into a cul-de-sac though. Tavernier pinches it back off, and Lundstrom, and now Wright. I was going to say, I know Clermont was asked about Shanklin, he's spoken about him, he's aware of him. He was in charge at Bruges when Shanklin was at Beerschot in Belgium, so he's fully aware of Lawrence Shanklin, who's been outstanding in the Maroon today. He really has. Much more like it from the Hearts captain as Cantwell is fouled and a yellow card has come out here. Was it Vargas or Cochrane?
Cochrane, I think.
Cochrane, yeah. But yellow for Cochrane.
Just because he's willing to go and take him on. We've seen Seema down the other side, causes panic in the Hearts defence because he goes on the outside. I think Civic gets unlucky because he almost blocks the cross, but the ball into the box causes panic. But it comes from Rangers players wanting to go 1v1 because they've not done enough of that. They're trying to pass round, they're trying to one-touch passing. It's not worked. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You need someone to step up and do something a little bit different. And at least, to be fair to Cantwell there, he's trying to do something different.
It's important in the midst of all this, if Hearts win this game, not just to focus on Shanklin's goal. His goal line clearance towards the end of the first half was as good as a goal. Rangers though have a free kick at the right angle of the Hearts penalty area. Yilmaz with it, left-footed, bends it in towards the back post, headed half away. Seema picks it up, left-hand side of the area, looking for support in blue and white. Decides to spin, low ball across, cleared by Shanklin. Out of play for a throw-in over on the far side to the host. Still 1-0 Hearts on 73.5.
I tell you what, I don't know who it was, but that was an unbelievable defensive header from that free kick.
Wasn't it? It was good. A really good ball in from Yilmaz.
Right on the far side. Yilmaz in the box. Cantwell's onto it. Here's Lundstrom. Shuffles onto his right foot. His pass is cut out and Hearts get hit in the counter here. Shanklin has it. Others trying desperately to get up to support. Slip to Vargas. Rangers are funneling back. Vargas popping it through. Davies gets in the way of the pass. And Goldson goes back to his keeper Butland, who passes it first time to Tavernier. 74 played. Rangers 0, Hearts 1. It's going to be a Rangers change in a moment as well. We'll get to Kerdin in a moment as well as Tavernier slips it through looking for Lammers. Sliding in and blocking it. One of the Hearts defenders gets in the way. Lammers pulls it back to Lundstrom on the left peg. Couple of touches, rolls it to the left-hand side of the box for Abdallah Seema. Seema's pass to the byline and Yilmaz is cut out. Breaks back to Seema, breaks to Lundstrom at the edge of the box. He shoots, but it's a comfortable save for Xander Clark. 16 to play. Rangers 0, Hearts 1. Once again to Kerdin.
Young McCausland, Ross McCausland coming on for Rangers. He's already becoming a bit of a fan's favourite here. I think he'll get a big cheer when he comes on. And the Hearts double substitution about to come on with Oda and Haring having been stripped for the last 5 minutes. But Hearts can't get the ball off Rangers, so that's why the substitution hasn't happened yet. But here comes the Rangers one. Cantwell off.
Yeah, the young Northern Irishman coming on, McCausland.
Well, I mean, Cantwell's not had one of his best games, I've got to be honest. But still, you think to yourself, who's most capable of making something happen? Is it going to be Cantwell or Lammers? Now, Cantwell can go quite comfortably and play that little bit more narrow as a 10, and McCausland's obviously going to play in a wide area. I am astonished that Sam Lammers has stayed on the park there.
Is this to do with fitness though, because he's not long back?
Yeah, but then in saying that, Liam, at Rangers you need to win the game right in front of you, so keep him on the pitch, and if he can't play the next game then you use someone else. But I don't think that, I agree, I think that's probably why, because he's not long back. He's still got a strapping on his thigh there, but I think it's probably, you know, Mikey's probably right. Keep him on the pitch and win this game, and then you can move. Because by the way, he might be fine. By the time the next game comes around, he might be completely fine.
Well, the Hearts changes still haven't been made, and Peter Haring's got his coat back on.
Well, it's just because Toby Sibic has gone down, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't one of the guys that would have been taken off, and they're obviously just having to wait and see whether he's going to be all right to stay on, or whether he's coming off.
Oda's got his tracky top back on as well, so Cerdine will keep an eye on that for us. But there's only 14 minutes of this game left, at least of the 90.
I'd like to see in that last attack. I know he's obviously tired, but Vargas is on the pitch for his pace, and he gets Goldson 1v1, and he then drives and looks for the pass. I think he should just go at him, you know, and try and commit the defender.
Hearts looking to win a third away game in succession. They haven't managed that since December, January 2021. They won at Livingston, Dundee and Auchinleck Talbot, the latter in the Scottish Cup 4th round. That run was the last time they won back-to-back away league games as well, but this has been an excellent defensive performance from them, as bad as Rangers have been today. Hearts have been excellent. Nieuwenhof has won it back for them. Shanklin firing it back out to this left-hand side. Nieuwenhof giving chase, gets there ahead of Goldson, down to the corner flag.
Great play.
He's got his cross in as well. It's controlled in the chest by Davies inside his own penalty area. Lammers back to Davies, and he pops it through to Wright, who of course scored against Hearts in the Scottish Cup final last year, 2 seasons ago. Shifts it to McCausland, he's just on. Right footed cross is really good, but Danilo can't control it or get a shot away first time. It bounces off him and behind for a Hearts goal kick on 77.5. It's Rangers 0, Hearts 1.
It was a great pick out from McCausland, it really was. Fired it into Danilo, and striker's got to do better.
Yeah,
he's really got to do better.
I think as well, one of the things about younger players is a decision making, and you see there from McCausland, he knows that that's the right ball to play, and then he's got the technique to execute it. Fantastic play.
Hearts have changed their minds. Yeah, Oda was going to come on, but instead it's going to be Andy Halliday. Haring's come on for Nieuwenhof, and it's going to be Andy Halliday for Toby Sibic, who somewhere is still getting treatment, I think. So change of mind for Hearts and enforced because of the injury to Sibic.
I'm just trying to see who's going to go and play. It looks like Cammy Devlin's going to play right wing back now, so this is a proper makeshift back line for Hearts.
It's not ideal, is it, going into the last 12 minutes plus stoppages here at Ibrox?
No. So Cammy Devlin at right wing back, and Peter Haring and Andy Halliday will be in as the 2 centre midfielders.
Halliday, former Rangers player, of course, over 150 appearances for them. Here's Lundstrom, shifting it to McCausland on this near side. And faced by Cochrane, stabs it back into his own half for Tavernier. Now he's driving forward across halfway. Out to McCausland, that's just behind him. Off target with the pass. It's a throw-in to Hearts on this near side. And with every passing second, Hearts are getting closer and closer to a long-awaited victory here at Ibrox.
Yeah, and you know, that one there where the ball rolls out for a shy, it's probably the first instance in the second half where you've heard the groans from the supporters, the home fans, because they're probably getting that sense and that feeling as well now that this is getting close towards the end of the game. And never mind trying to get the equaliser, they need 2 goals. They need a victory.
Draw's no use to them. They're already so far behind Celtic at the top. And this happens to be an even better weekend for St Mirren as well. They're sitting level on points with Rangers.
And I said this last night, Liam, St Mirren should be sitting clean in second, because they had 2 points taken off them with that home game against Aberdeen when there was a double touch on a penalty kick in injury time.
Tavernier with the ball across, is cut out.
It's not like you to remember things like that, Michael.
Yep.
But you're right.
Rolled out by Haring, wide right-hand side for Forrest, taking on Yilmaz, head down. Yilmaz does well, though he's pacey enough. He rolls it up the line to Sima, and infield to Lundstrom. That is 80 minutes played. Rangers 0, Heart of Midlothian 1. Tavernier wide in the right, looks up, his cross is cut out by Cochrane. And getting on the captain's back, nobody's safe from the ire of the Rangers supporters today. Bowled back by Tavernier from the throw into Goldson, to Lundstrom, first time to Tavernier on this right-hand side. Infield to McCausland at the right angle of the box. Now it's with Lundstrom, he shoots, he's not that far away, it's wide though of the left-hand post. Xander Clark, I think, had it covered anyway, and it stays Rangers 0, Hearts 1.
I think he touched us that. We're obviously right behind it.
You get a chance to see the replay now.
I think there's a slight touch.
Lundstrom took a touch set himself and kind of just dragged it wide. Well, Rangers staring right now at a 3rd home defeat in the league this season. They've already lost more home league games this campaign than in the previous 3 seasons combined. They only lost once to Celtic in those 3 seasons. Unbeaten in 2021 and last season here at Ibrox. Lose this one, they've lost 3 to Celtic, Aberdeen and potentially Hearts. What have they got left? Not had much at all today. Zander Clark hasn't been forced into too much action. Here is Tavernier on the right hand side. Rolls the ball infield to Goldson. Now with Lundstrom. Lundstrom then to right, looking to go through the gears, shifting it to the left hand side of the box for Sima. Gets there, but his cross has gone behind the byline, and that's going to be a goal kick to Hearts as we approach 82 minutes. Cardine, the latest substitution.
Yeah, we've had Scott Wright, Ross McCausland and Danilo, and now we've got Ryan Jack coming on for Rangers. And finally, the boys have been asking for it, Sam Lammers, to an ironic cheer or two around us, is coming off.
Well, I mean, look, you know, you feel for any player because he's clearly low in confidence. He'll know himself that the supporters are not convinced by him so far. And it's not a case of asking for him to, you know, be taken off or whatever. You're just looking at the game and you're thinking to yourself, from Rangers' perspective, Philippe Clement has left him on the park until this stage, and he's made a few substitutions before it. I'm just surprised by that, because I think some of the guys that have come off were offering more in the game and had a better chance from Rangers' side of things of actually getting something from the game. And you know, Lammers has lasted a fair chunk of that game there and done next to nothing.
Ryan Jack back after injury. It's his 200th appearance for Rangers. Sima wide on the left-hand side, finds Lundstrom, who almost found Jack. It just bobbled underneath him. McCausland to Tavernier at the edge of the box. He shoots wide as well. That left-hand post, slaps his hands in frustration. 83 now on the clock. Rangers 0, Hearts 1.
I mean, look, I know that Hearts are sitting very deep, but in particular down this right-hand side, I don't think Rangers have got to the byline once in the whole game. Not once. And for a team that's dominated the ball as much as they do, I just think that's a massive, massive hole in their game. You know, to not be getting to the byline is, I think it's short-sighted from the team, and I don't think they look to do it enough. It's not even as if it's one of those where there's been a few overhit balls where they're trying to get. They just don't have anybody that actually operates in that area of the park. So if you're a defensive team, you can almost overcommit elsewhere, knowing that they're not going to go and try and get in there.
I think you're spot on, Mikey, but I think what gives Hearts the confidence to do that is anything that Huz came at Cochrane, he's dealt with it as well. You know, his positioning's good, he's quick, he's strong. We've obviously seen he's got real quality going forward, but defensively I think he's very sound, and I think so they're comfortable with him dealing with anything 1v1.
Corner Hearts meantime, yeah, long ball forward, and Shanklin put enough pressure on the defender to head it behind for the corner, and they'll take their time over this. And it's right in front of the Hearts supporters. Lawrence Shanklin's goal on 4 minutes, his 7th of the season, could be all the difference. Could mean a priceless 3 points for Hearts, and perhaps finally get their season going. In comes the corner, headed away in the 6-yard line from Rangers though. Chasing after it's Vargas on the far side. Looked like he was dumped to the ground there. The referee disagrees. It's a Rangers throw in over there. A free kick's been given.
Yeah, I think because he catches the ball.
That's a foul. You know, we said, you know, in the first half, the Cochrane one, I wasn't sure, and I think on reflection, seeing the replay, it could have been. That was as well. McCausland's put 2 arms in his back.
He's given it for the handball because he's picked it up, expecting fully the free kick to be given to him. Here's Tavernier up the other end for Rangers, short to Goldson. Lundstrom forward to Danilo. Poor touch, bobbles away from him and cleared by Alan Forrest.
I completely agree, Mikey, but when you're going to throw yourself forward, pick the victim. It was McCausland behind him. I don't think he's got the strength to throw him that far.
Long ball for Forrest to chase down that right-hand side for Hearts. Seema gets there though, still in play. Hearts leading by 1-0, 85 and a half played. Here's Lundstrom. What a famous victory this would be for the visitors. Tavernier for Lundstrom. After all the frustration of their goalless draw in Edinburgh yesterday, Celtic could well extend their lead at the top of the table this weekend. What a result that would be for them. Here's Lundstrom though, out wide right Jack. Low ball into right, his efforts blocked, gets a second chance. Pulls it to Jack, who was the other goal scorer in that Scottish Cup final between these two. McCausland's cross, cut out by Cochrane, behind for a Rangers corner.
See, that doesn't come to anything, but you see the position Ryan Jack had there? He's just high and wide, and he's able to play a ball. He actually picks Scott Wright out. There's lots of bodies round him again though, but that position, high and wide on the right-hand side, it just stretches the opposition.
In comes the corner. It's too high for Seema, leapt as high as he could. Comes all the way out to Ryan Jack on that left-hand side. Midway inside the Hearts half. Squares it for Yilmaz. Yilmaz with a delicate chip, left-footed ball in for McCausland, heads it back towards the penalty spot. It's half away by Rolls, flags up on this near side. As we move into the final 3 minutes of the 90, it remains Rangers 0, Hearts 1. And remember as well that they survived that penalty that James Tavernier bounced off the post right at the end of the first half too.
Yeah, but again, you know, you missed that chance, but how many saves has Zander Clark had to make? Not enough, nowhere near enough.
Checking a possible penalty here, I'm not sure what it's for, Mikey.
From the corner. It was from the corner. There was a few guys that fell down. I didn't see anything at all, but you know, there was a few players when the corner came in that fell to the ground.
Right, the guys will have a look at a
it's
replay
not
No,
of it.
can't get it.
It's not, and also I think Lundstrom is blocking one of the Hearts players to begin with. I mean, look, this was it was a wide-angled shot and replay we had there, and he's getting called across.
Look at it. Our Rangers about to get a lifeline here. There's the low behind replay for the guys to look at here, and John Beaton has been advised by Alan Muir, the video assistant, to come over and look at it. Rangers, who were awarded a penalty late in the first half, could be about to be awarded one late in the second here.
Well, certainly the first angle I had looking at it never looked anything like a penalty kick to me. But do you know what? He's pulling his jersey.
It's penalty.
It is stupid play. But
it's Haring, yeah.
Stupid play from Haring. And that's the angle, obviously, the fourth officials, the VAR officials have seen.
He's going to give this. He's going to give it. He has. Rangers have a second penalty. Connor Goldson's shirt tugged back there by Peter Haring, the Hearts sub. He's going to be yellow carded as well for the professional foul. And Rangers have another penalty, and Tavernier, who missed one at the end of the first half, has got the ball in his hands again.
By the way, it's not even that difficult. I don't even know why he's doing it. You know, he's got time to actually react and just run after him, but he instinctively, I don't know how he's lost him to be a yard or so behind him, and I just think that's terrible play from Peter Haring to pull his jersey.
Well, this is a huge moment for Tavernier. He went to the goalkeeper's right, his left, at the end of the first half, hit the post. Can he bring Rangers level here at Ibrox? Here he goes, right-footed. This time he scores! Right down the middle from the Rangers captain. And that's the get-out-of-jail-free card. James Tavernier squares the game. Heartbreak for Hearts, who led early through Shanklin. It's been wiped out right at the end of 90 minutes. And it's Rangers 1, Heart of Midlothian 1.
Fair play to Tavernier as well for stepping up and taking the penalty, having already missed one, but no way he was going to miss that one. Absolutely smash it down the middle. Zander Clark got absolutely no chance, and Rangers will fancy themselves to get another goal now, and it's going to be hard for Hearts to hang on.
Let's find out what the stoppage time is going to be. There's about 10 seconds of the 90 minutes left. Here's McCausland, and now it's Lundstrom, who picks up just outside the centre circle. The stoppage time will be 9 minutes.
Well, by the way,
9 minutes.
I'm not being funny. Even the running from the Rangers players already has been more intense.
And here's McCausland. It comes off Haring and it's booted to safety by Kent.
The point I'm making, Liam, is they picked that ball up and they were driving forward. You could see it in them. Why has that not been there throughout the whole game? That's what the supporters will be asking. It's been, you know, a gear or two lower throughout. and they've got a penalty kick, which was deserved, by the way, but they didn't create anything, and now they've got something to try and build upon. That's poor from Rangers.
Here's Wright though, driving forward on this near side. They've certainly got plenty of time to try and win it now, don't they? Here's Wright at the right angle of the box, to the edge of the deep for Danilo, to Jack, out to Sima. Sima has it at the edge of the area, he's gone from distance, and he's put it well over, and it stays one apiece.
I think you make a good point there, Liam. I don't think they need to go gung-ho. Yes, they need to, but they've got 9 minutes to score. Well, less now, obviously, but you know, you see Sima there, and he has a shot goal. I've been asking for more shots, but he's never really set. He never looks confident he's going to hit the target there. So keep playing, keep trying to move Hearts. Hearts are going to be tired. You know, they've just crush and blow losing a goal so late on. I've been there, it's horrible. So Rangers still need to kind of keep their heads and not just go gung-ho and kick the ball out for a corner.
He's almost put out for a corner there by Rangers. Butland got there in time though as he launches it forward. It's headed away by Hearts through Kent. Picked up by Devlin, who's barely touched the ball since coming on. That's out of play for a throw into Rangers over on the far side. So one apiece it is. We played almost 2 of the 9 that were added on by John Beaton. Here's Goldson driving forward up towards the halfway line. Low ball out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Tavernier looks up, right foot early ball in, the header down, and in it goes! Danilo scores! An astonishing late show from Rangers, and Danilo heads home the Tavernier cross. How they've dug themselves out of this hole, I do not know. But Danilo, who came on at half-time to rescue the game, has done just that for Philippe Clement. And it is Rangers 2, Hearts 1. Heartache for the visitors.
That's poor defending from Hearts, plain and simple. Lawrence Shatlin's gone mental on the halfway line. Look, it's a great cross from James Tavernier, but round the back, it's Frankie Kent loses Danilo, and he really shouldn't, because he sees the striker all the way. It's a great header as well. Wonderful goal from Rangers. Terrible, terrible goal from Hearts to lose. They've got plenty bodies back, and they shouldn't be conceding that goal.
The difference a goal can make for James Tavernier. We've seen him in the first half, and he was, you know, crossing the ball out the pitch. He was over hitting him. He then misses a penalty. He scores a penalty. The next thought in his mind is, he's only got one player hitting the box. It's a fantastic ball in. Yes, it should be defended better, but take nothing away from the cross and the header as well.
Costin with a good slide challenge from Cochrane on the near side. Hearts have a throw-in level with the Rangers 18. Stephen Naismith can barely believe it down below us. Rangers so pedestrian, they've sprung to life since that penalty was converted by Tavernier. Could be about to win a game they looked ready to lose in. In comes the throw-in from Cochrane. It's headed towards goal by Rolls, but Butland holds on. And whilst this has been a forgettable performance from a Rangers point of view, the Rangers fans won't care too much about it if they see this through now and chop into Celtic's lead at the top and bring it back down to 5 points. Does it look like they were going to lose this?
Well, put it this way, had they not got the penalty, they would have lost the game. There's no way they were coming back into this game if they hadn't got that penalty kick. That's not to take away from the fact that it was a penalty. Haring, lazy, silly defending, pulling the jersey. But if Rangers want to progress, then they'll realise that obviously this performance has not been good enough. But you're right, in the first instance, it's 3 points that really count.
That could be a massive 3 points for Rangers, that's for sure. When we look back at the end of the season, when the spoils are handed out, and look back at this, 1-0 down on 89 minutes. And a spectacular turnaround akin to the one they had at Pittodrie last December. They were 2-1 down, deep into stoppage time in that one. And we played 5 of the 9.
A common theme there, Liam. I was at that game as well. Working, of course, not
of course, yeah. It's been a terrible end to proceedings for Hearts, because such a long time without a victory here at Ibrox. It looked to be theirs. It's in the palm of their hand. Seen some spectacular turnarounds in games. as the long throw comes into the Rangers box. Forrest with the jump, he goes down. No foul, says the ref. Hearts trying to keep things alive on the far side. Are they going to get a free kick? No, they won't. It's a Rangers throw. Haring battling for it. What's going through Peter Haring's mind right now?
You're just on the ground to open up and swallow, aren't you? Because you don't want to walk back in that dressing room, because you know all your teammates are looking at you, because you've made it. You've not even made an honest attempt to make a tackle. You missed time. Michael's right. He just grabbed the shirt. It's so stupid from him, and that's cost him the 3 points. So I agree with Michael. I didn't see Rangers scoring without that penalty.
There's Shanklin again causing a nuisance of himself. Can Hearts find an equaliser? Cochrane trying to push it forward, blocked by Tavernier. Given away, and then Tavernier brought to the ground by Forrest. It's an instant yellow for the Hearts player. Tavernier was away there, and it's going to be a free kick to Rangers right of the centre circle. There's only a few minutes left to play, and it will be done, and Hearts will be left to wonder what might have been. They've certainly been better in the second half, Rangers, but they weren't testing Xander Clark. They'd only had 3 shots on target before Tavernier's penalty that he converted.
They started the second half better, but as it was, I would say, from about 70 odd minutes on, the pace had gone out the game again. They were flat, and yeah, the penalty kick's not given. Hearts are winning the game.
Sliding doors moment as Lundstrom finds Yilmaz on the left. His pass forwards cut out. It's Lundstrom midway inside the Hearts half, out to Yilmaz on the touchline, taking it down towards the corner flag. Forrest putting the pressure on. It's come off Forrest and behind for the corner. Yilmaz whipping up the Rangers fans, many of whom, by the way, had departed the stadium. And as we approach the 90-minute mark, some would have been halfway out and heard the roar as the penalty was awarded and made their way back in. Rangers 2, Hearts 1 is the scoreline. Short corner over on the far side. And it's back with Yilmaz, blocked by Haring. Low ball into the area. Here's Sima onto the right, finds Danilo. His attempt to ball forward, the return to Sima's blocked and cut out. It's Lundstrom forward to right, given away. Smashed up the pitch by Halliday. Vargas can't control it, and he goes in on Ryan Jack as well, and the referee goes to his pocket.
That's not a yellow card, I'm sorry.
Vargas will be booked. Ryan Jack, a few rolls on the deck there. Just wonder if that's kind of made the referee's mind up to flash the yellow card.
I mean, look,
Costa Rican.
As 2 players, trying to run for the ball, but it's never a yellow card. And by the way, I'd probably argue, is it a free kick? Ryan Jack jumps out the way. It's just 2 players going for the ball. Ryan Jack gets there first. The Costa Rican, they run into each other. There's a bit of contact. It's football. It's never a yellow card.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one.
Free kick Rangers just eats away a few more seconds. Just about 10 seconds left. 2-1 to Rangers. The touch from Sima though will go out. There'll probably be time added on because the Rangers' second goal came within the stoppage time, so fully expect there to be another minute perhaps added on here. Throwing down the far side's helped on its way, blocked by Lundstrom over on the far side, still in the Hearts half. They can't get the ball up the pitch here. Devlin has done this time, smashing it forward. Tavernier controls and just chests it down for Goldson, who will wallop it clear. Added time here at the end of the game. 2-1 to Rangers. Cochrane gets away from Tavernier, but not from Lundstrom, who was named sponsors man of the match here. Long clearance, and the final whistle goes. And what a huge, monumental victory this will be for Philippe Clement and his Rangers players. Lawrence Shanklin slumped down on his knees, looking around for answers. He might want to ask Peter Haring for some, because they led through Shanklin's goal in 4 minutes, surviving James Tavernier's penalty at the end of the first half as he hit the post. But it was the sub Haring who had a tug on Connor Goldson's jersey inside the box as we tick towards the 90-minute mark. Missed by John Beaton, but Alan Muir, the VAR, called the referee over to look at the monitor. And when you see the replays, it was in the stone wall category. And Tavernier stepped up again and smashed it down the middle, high into the net. past Clark to make it 1-1. 9 minutes were added on, and Rangers somehow found a way to turn 0 points into 3. As Danilo headed home a wonderful Tavernier cross at the back post, down into the ground and into the net past Clark, to break Hearts and to seal victory for the hosts. Hearts' wait for a win here goes on. Their last one was in 2014, their last in the top flight 2012, and they'll have to use this as inspiration. And when they go to Hampden next week to face Rangers again in the semi-finals of the League Cup, for Rangers, it looked as though Celtic, despite dropping points in Edinburgh against Hibs yesterday, were going to extend their lead at the top of the Premiership. But it's been chopped back down to 5 points, thanks to this turnaround show from Philippe Clement's side, as he has both thumbs in the air to the Rangers fans down below us. It finishes here at Ibrox. A dramatic and oh so dramatic conclusion. Rangers 2, Heart of Midlothian 1.